days. And our friends at Abacus Foundation Repair are celebrating 15 years of serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair. And they want to give something to you on their 15th anniversary, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. Not only are you going to save $1,000, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that with Abacus Foundation, you're getting the elite state-of-the-art solution for your home. Millennium composite pilings. Nobody else has them. Abacus has an A-plus business rating from the Better Business Bureau, 6 straight years running on that. The expansion and contraction of Texas soils mean a lot of us have foundation issues. You don't want to call the wrong people. Call the right people first for the absolute best foundation repair. Affordable, reliable home warranty that you can pass on to subsequent owners of your home. Give them a call today, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, abacusfoundationrepair.com. Ask about $1,000 off, abacusfoundationrepair.com.
Sometimes opportunities come which have the potential for changing your life. Will you recognize it? I'm pastor and businessman David Mitchell. Come join me and my team for a 2-day training session where you will learn how to cut out the middleman and manage your own finances. Learn powerful short-term trading strategies for generating cash flow, as well as longer-term strategies for more safety. All of these have been passed down for generations in my family. I look forward to sharing these powerful skill sets with you. Perhaps this is the opportunity you shouldn't pass up. New venture on Wall Street. Build your legacy.
Coming to the Dallas Sheraton by the Galleria and Norris Conference Center, Fort Worth, December 4th and 5th. It's only $99.95 for your entire household, plus a free ticket for a friend and a full money-back guarantee. To register, call 877-907-TRADE. That's 877-907-8723. Or go to nvows.com. That's nvows.com.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-400-9904. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-400-9904. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-400-9904. That's 1-800-400-9904.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. DirectHomeMedical.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's called the Transcend Mini CPAP. And right now, you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-500-1257. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. Call DirectHomeMedical.com now for your 10-day at-home trial. 1-800-500-1257. That's 1-800-500-1257.
660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report, a daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Mike Rawlings says it's in the spirit of Dallas to help resettle Syrian refugees. Do you agree? Let me get to Steve in Allen, Texas. Steve, thanks for joining us. Hi.
Hi. How you doing, JD? Well, no, definitely not. Not these refugees. I've been rereading a few things. Did you know that in last year, the DHS, the Obama administration, unilaterally and illegally changed the law that prevented people with terrorists who had provided material support to terrorism from becoming refugees? Now they can get in. Barack Obama's been laying the groundwork to bring in very dangerous people. He knows exactly who these are.
Thanks very much. I appreciate your phone call. Let me get to Dean in Fort Worth. Dean, welcome. Hi.
Hi. Are you having a good night?
I'm doing fine, man. What do you think?
Well, I think Mike Rawlings is correct.
Why do you believe that, Dean?
Well, the reality is, unfortunately, Republicans are going to cave. They've lost every single political battle with Obama since he's become president. And Rawlings, I think, just sees the writing on the wall and says it's going to be better to follow him than try to fight him.
All right, let's see what we can do about finding out more about that. More of this discussion as to people who disagree and people who want to see these things happen. But first, let's find out a little bit more about what's going on around us from directly from Washington, D.C., inside the Beltway. Joining us from the Texas 5th is Congressman Jeb Hensarling. He is the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, first elected to Congress in 2002. Joins us now to discuss this pause in the importation of Syrian refugees. Sir, welcome to the Wells Report. Good to have you here.
Hey, JD, thanks for having me.
Okay, so American foreign policy has been in disarray. It is the strangest era of time for American foreign policy that I've ever seen in my life. And it comes to a culmination where the president seems to be completely tone deaf about what's going on. For example, the attacks in Paris followed 2 days later by the release of 5 more terrorists from Guantanamo Bay, and the willingness to continue to import at least 10,000 Syrians from the very factory of world terrorism. Do I have this just about right?
Well, I think you have it about right. Disarray is probably an understatement. I would say our foreign policy is quite literally a fire and awash in failure. And I'd say the president is beyond tone deaf. What he is doing is frankly dangerous to the safety and security of Americans. Now, clearly he doesn't recognize that, but this is the same commander-in-chief who told us that ISIS was the JV team. This is the same commander-in-chief, literally hours before the Paris attack, told us that ISIS was contained. This is the same commander-in-chief who still insists after that in importing thousands of Syrian refugees, of which we know next to nothing. Listen, we should share our time and our treasure in a humanitarian outreach here, but we don't have to share our territory. It's time to press the pause button. It is the burden of the administration to convince Congress, the elected representatives, or we the people, that this can proceed without danger to the homeland. And today they can't do it because there for all intents and purposes, is no database in order to access in Syria. So again, the president has got it all wrong, much to our detriment, and it's a cause for great concern and worry.
Well, there's a lot of concern and worry here in Texas. I think I've been stopped by 20 of my friends asking me, what is going on here? What is the solution? And what are we going to do about these refugees coming here? Now, Governor Abbott, and I believe as many as 11 or 15 other governors have decided that they would at least send letters to President Obama saying that they will not have Syrian refugees imported to their states.
Well, JD, I think we're up to about half the governors in America now, both Republicans and Democrats, I believe, have expressed their concerns to the president that they don't want these refugees being settled in their states. And I hope they have a good legal standing in order to do that, because, again, the president hasn't got the message. As usual, the president's setting up a false choice between having some compassion for the refugees and compromising our homeland security. We can have compassion without doing it. We can be compassionate without being stupid. And the president doesn't seem to have that message. Again, we ought to look at establishing safe zones within that territory. And eventually we hope, and we need a brand new strategy. We need to force the president. He's the commander in chief. It's not 535 members of Congress. He's the commander in chief. We need a strategy not to quote unquote contain ISIS, but to absolutely crush and defeat this threat. We've seen what the threat is. We have seen it thrust into our living rooms, and they're living with it in France. And we should all be appalled. It is all horrific, but regrettably, it is not shocking.
Congressman Jeb Hensarling is our guest from the Texas Congressional District number 5. He is the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. Is there something the House can do? Is there legislation out there that may stop President Obama's refugee policy?
Well, I hope that we will actually act this week. And I know that under our new speaker, Speaker Paul Ryan, he has directed various committees of jurisdiction to begin working on the first phase of legislation. We have a couple of bills. One is the Refugee Resettlement Oversight and Security Act, which is authored by Congressman McCall of Texas, who is the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. And that would make a lot of improvements to the refugee program, including an affirmative vote of both the House and the Senate before any refugees are admitted to the U.S. In short, it would make sure that the elected representatives of the people are satisfied before we bring refugees over, and it would essentially allow Congress to block an inadequate refugee settlement plan. In addition, there is the something called the SAFE Act of 2015. The author is Congressman Hudson out of North Carolina, and it would require the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, the U.S. Attorney General to certify that refugees being admitted to the U.S. from either Iraq or Syria do not pose a security threat to the U.S. Their credibility and all their resources would have to be on the line. Now, these are just two bills. Frankly, both of them were in the pipeline prior to Paris. But again, I just can't emphasize we have to press the pause button. It doesn't mean we have to stop forever, but today we have to press the pause button and say until we can verify that Syrian refugees are not a threat to the homeland, it is not time to take them. Again, we're sharing our time, our expertise, we're sharing our treasure. There is no nation in the world that has been more generous with refugee settlement money than the United States of America. That's not going to change. But these people today need to be kept in the countries that they are today. They do not need to be brought to the United States of America.
Let's talk a little bit about this amazing problem in Europe. It could be a precursor for the United States. As you know, Nancy Pelosi and several of the other Democrats have asked the 10,000 to be increased to 100,000 Syrian refugees.
A minute short.
The European Union is sinking under the weight of this influx of Muslims to what is essentially the old Ottoman Empire. These people these Syrians seem to be mostly military-age males with no children and no wives. How is it that this mass movement isn't being taken more seriously by at least the military advisors of some of the Earth's oldest countries? What's going on there?
Well, I'm not certain. I would think it would be now, particularly with, again, the horrific terror attack in Paris. We know that already. There was a scare in Germany earlier today. I don't have the details on that. I don't know how credible or valid the threat was. But Europe is waking up. We hope they're not waking up too late. And I know it's not too late for us to wake up. I just don't know when our commander-in-chief will wake up to the threat. So again, listen, I understand there are millions of refugees from Syria. I know the Assad regime is horrific, not unlike ISIS. But again, we can help those who go to Lebanon or to Jordan or to other European countries, but without adequate vetting. And I have been to classified security briefings on this. I can tell you, this member of Congress, I'm not satisfied that we have the requisite vetting procedures in place to vet any Syrian refugee today. So again, I just can't emphasize enough, it is time to hit the pause button.
From the Texas 5th, Congressman Jeb Hensarling joining us on the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer. We look at this and we see all of these amazing mistakes in foreign policy. We see a president that is reticent to engage ISIS as it needs to be engaged. The rest of the world is dithering. Let me ask you this question, Congressman. What if President Obama refuses to rise to the challenge that ISIS continually is imposing on the world?
Well, we will do everything that we can in the United States Congress, still abiding by the Constitution. I hope that there is significant concern and, frankly, outrage among our Democratic colleagues that perhaps on some of the legislation that we are considering now, that we would get significant Democratic support. It's pretty rare that we get a veto-proof margin in Congress, but when it comes to something as fundamental as our homeland security, the safety and security of our families, our constituents, I certainly haven't abandoned hope. And I just hope the president isn't the last one to wake up to the threat, because frankly, we can't wait another 12 months for the next presidential election to take place for this president to realize there has to be a strategy, not of containment, but of destruction of ISIS. And we've got to have a president realize that this is a serious threat. And I'm not expecting this president to shift to foreign policy to where finally our enemies will fear us once again and our friends will trust us. The president has completely messed that one up. But I haven't completely lost hope that perhaps Democratic colleagues are going to decide that it's more important to rise above any personal party loyalty to the president and make a statement here.
They're going to have to do something. I can tell you that here in Texas, if one person has said this, there have probably been, again, like 20, 25 people that have come to me and said their greatest fear is that the president is just simply going to do nothing for the balance of his presidency. And as you said earlier, we don't have that kind of time.
Well, not on this issue. On every other issue,
You're back in about 1 minute.
I might be pleased if he'd do nothing for a while.
You got a point.
Instead of using his pen and phone to circumvent the Constitution and harm the Republic. But when it comes to our national defense with ISIS on the march, with the great harm he's done in Iraq, yes, he needs to do something.
Indeed, he does. And that, of course, leads us to how can we help you? How can we support the move of these particular pieces of legislation you referenced? How can we try to help you move these forward?
Well, I appreciate the question. Again, in modern society, everybody essentially can publish their own newspaper through social media. Let your voice be heard early and often in the debate. And occasionally, public opinion can even permeate the thick walls of the Oval Office. And hopefully, this will be one of those occasions.
You're doing a great job for the Texas Fifth, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you for joining us on the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer.
Anytime, JD.
That is Congressman Jeb Hensarling joining us on the Wells Report, referring to the president and saying, quote, he is tragically wrong, and it is hurting the security of our country. I believe he's completely correct. You know, I have watched this president stand off and stand back. And yes, indeed, there would be no Syrian crisis, no Syrian immigration crisis anywhere if the United States had acted on the red line that was imposed on Syria by this same president. I'm trying to figure out just exactly what this is all about. Because regardless of what you might believe, France, England, Germany, Hungary all face an existential threat to their country's identity by virtue of the fact that there are more people moving from the Middle East into Europe because of wide open immigration policy on the part of just a few of the world's politicians. And I'm very disturbed about that. More is coming up on that very issue in just a couple of moments. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Happy fall, y'all. Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy here, reminding you to tune in to my show, The Big Boat and Outdoor Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m. You know, this is one of my favorite times of the year to be out on the water. It's never crowded and the fall colors are beautiful. You can also find some great deals on pre-enjoy boats during the fall and winter months. Make an educated and well-informed purchase by tuning in to The Big Boat and Outdoor Show every Saturday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
This is Greg Thornberry of the King's College in New York for townhall.com. Just subsidize the kids some more. That's the rule if a presidential candidate wants to get the vote of religious families. The American tax code is a punishing maze that leaves parents feeling confused and cheated. Building a new child credit into that structure is the kind of fix that social conservatives usually recommend. A better policy for families is a tax code that helps families realize their own aspirations. Such a plan actually has no child credits, but would be simpler and flatter with a top rate of, say, 20, 18, 15, or even, as Ben Carson would have it, 10%. A clearer, simpler, flatter tax code is an important symbol that says to adults, you can see that you will be able to enjoy a greater portion of the fruit of your labor. Once all families, including families of faith, understand the trade-offs, they too will choose a flat tax. I'm Greg Thornberry.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at Viascan of Las Colinas. You ever hear seeing is believing? It's true. You know what else seeing can be? The difference between life and death. Seeing heart plaques and blockages so that you can know that you might be about to have a heart attack. Seeing the beginnings of cancer festering in some of your internal organs, finding it before it gets so big that it's inoperable. This is affordable preventive health care at Viascan of Las Colinas. This is what they've done for a decade and a half. John Duncan and the crew, they've done it for me. They can do it for you. 972-739-2840. Call them, make an appointment, and know what's going on. See what's going on inside your heart, inside various other organs. 972-739-2840. Bunches of specials, making it even more affordable. I love these folks, and you'll love them too when maybe, just maybe, they save your life. Seeing is believing. So see what's going on inside your heart, inside other vital organs at Viascan of Las Colinas. 972-739-2840 or 123bodyscan.com.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977 for details.
When you cough all day, you forget what a miracle coughing is. Your cough soars out of your mouth at 50 miles an hour. Your cough is faster than a greyhound and nearly twice as fast as the fastest man on earth. So when your husband spends all night coughing, remember what an amazing world you live in.
Or else, try Robitussin 12-Hour. It soothes and delivers fast, powerful cough relief for up to 12 hours. New Robitussin 12-Hour, because it's never just a cough. Use as directed.
Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Max. This is not a test. Saturday, December 5th at Horizon Theater with special guests Britt Nicole, Colton Dixon, and Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Rachel, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report.
Hi. I just wanted to give another thing to think about. I think ISIS might be a little bit smarter next time, when they come over here and try to hurt America. They've used the Syrian refugee idea. What's to keep them from using Jordan or Lebanon or, another country that we're not suspecting? And, if certain states are not letting the refugees come in and other states are, what's to keep those refugees going from one state to another state?
Nothing. This is something that needs to be taken care of by national action on the part of the federal government of the United States. Now, the question is, who among those people inside the Beltway will do that? The only people that will do that are Republicans and select Democrats. I am watching Europe be changed in an existential way by this influx of Middle Eastern refugees and immigrants, all in the name of multiculturalism. It isn't multiculturalism. It is cultural substitutionism. That's what it is. Substitutionism. There we go. It is cultural substitutionism. And I don't think I like where Europe is going. And I'll be danged if I'm going to sit here and watch the same thing happen to the United States. This is the Wells Report.
Hey, does the idea of having your home sold on time without hassle and for top dollar, does that seem unrealistic to you? Hey, Dallas, it's your friend Sean Hannity, one real estate agent to sell your home guaranteed. That's Josh DeShong of Josh DeShong Real Estate at Keller Williams. Josh averages hundreds of local, national, and international buyers every single week. Now, that means your home sells on time at a price that you agreed to, guaranteed, or Josh will buy it. Josh's clients voted, and both D Magazine and Texas Monthly ranked him as the best real estate agent in Dallas. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Josh in DFW. And if I lived in Dallas and needed my home sold, guess what? I'd call Josh DeShong, and you should too. Call Josh now at 972-325-6644 or go online at getsold.net. That's 972-325-6644 or getsold.net and start packing.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Our son Joe had one dream, to go to college and become an architect. It was going to be expensive, so he needed our help with the tuition. Unfortunately, my husband died last year, and so did our son's dream. If only we had gotten life insurance like we talked about.
You want to take care of your family, and we want to help. Hi, I'm Brent Langdon for AIG Direct. We partnered with American General Life to find you their most affordable rates on term life insurance products. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-4833. Help protect your family's dreams now. It only takes 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. And the call is absolutely free. 1-800-700-4833. That's 1-800-700-4833.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen temporal scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers, or visit us at Exergen.com.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. New information about the Paris terror attacks.
The available intelligence and recent arrests indicate the plot was directed from Syria by a Belgian national, Abdelhamid Aboud. Final planning and logistical support came from Molenbeek, a Brussels suburb linked to a separate plot in August, and a team of at least 8 carrying out the plan in Paris. After an arrest was made, a U.S. government source says there was discussion among ISIS operatives about changing the way they communicate.
Fox's Catherine Herridge, another GOP presidential candidate, says he's out. Bobby Jindal telling Fox's Brett Baer.
This is not my time. I've come to the realization this is not my time. So I've come here to announce that I'm suspending my campaign for President of the United States.
Joining Delta and United, American Airlines announcing changes in its frequent flyer program, awarding miles based on the price of a ticket rather than distance flown. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
Hey there, Hugh Hewitt with a word about a new book by my friend David Limbaugh. I don't know if you're like me, but have you ever felt like you're lost or even overwhelmed by the books of the Old Testament? Have you ever felt like breezing through or skipping over altogether these earlier portions of Scripture so you can get to the good stuff, the stuff of Christ in the New Testament? Well, if that's you, or even if you've got just a little bit of that in you, then David Limbaugh's latest is for you. He traces the themes of Christ and the ever more clear revelation of the Messiah throughout the Old Testament. It's a lively Genesis to Jesus sort of journey that he takes us on in the Emmaus Code. David has found Jesus Christ as the key to understanding the whole Old Testament. I think you will too. Wherever you are at with regard to the faith, I know you'll appreciate the Emmaus Code. It makes the most important book in human history come alive.
David Limbaugh's new book, The Emmaus Code, is available now at Amazon, Costco, Barnes & Noble, and wherever quality books are sold.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. Let me ask the guys in the audience, do you feel gift pressure at the holidays? We all want to be good givers, but we wonder where to go. So join me in grabbing the Golden Guide to Gifting at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. Great selection, great prices for all the ladies on your list. Rings, pendants, earrings, great selections at prices you just can't get at the mall. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange has been in my life for more than 20 years. My headquarters for jewelry shopping, getting cash for jewelry I don't want anymore, investing in gold, silver, and precious metals. Always great customer service, always the best prices, and a selection and quality you just can't find elsewhere. So make the holidays sparkle with your trip to Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. 6 Metroplex locations or online at dgse.com. That's dgse.com. Holiday time, anytime. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange.
Want to see what you'd look like if you had a flatter belly? Now's your chance, because for a limited time, we're giving away free trials of New Biotics, the new discovery that flattens bloated bellies fast. But hurry and call now while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-971-2278. Strict limit of 1 free trial per household. These free trials are reserved for anyone, male or female, who's looking for maximum belly flattening in minimum time. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. So just think how much better you'll look and feel. Want to see what you'd look like with a flatter belly? Now's your chance. But hurry, call now for details while we're still giving these trials of New Biotics away for free. 1-800-971-2278. That's 1-800-971-2278. If lines are busy, try again. 1-800-971-2278.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a SelectQuote agent with a true story of how SelectQuote goes to bat for you buying term life insurance. A while back, a man called me who had prostate cancer. He asked if I could beat a very high quote another life insurance agent had given him. I said, let me see. Well, I took his pertinent information, then shopped the highly rated, price-competitive companies we represent, and found one who pre-approved him for a premium way below what he had been quoted. When it comes to term life insurance, no other company touches SelectQuote's experience and expertise in finding the right policy at the right price for almost anyone. How about you?
For your free quote, call 1-800-500-5236. That's 1-800-500-5236. 1-800-500-5236. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop you save.
There are times when people need a little extra money, honest, hardworking people, and some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company who gets it, who could help my listeners who need it. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com to check your rate, risk-free with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If any of my listeners need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code BORROW. That's avantoffer.com, promo code BORROW. Avantoffer.com, promo code BORROW.
Loans made by WebBank. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
From all over the nation, women are coming together to laugh, to cry, to celebrate. On May 13th and 14th, it's time to join together at the Fort Worth Convention Center for Pink Impact, featuring best-selling author, Bible teacher, and star of the hit movie War Room, Priscilla Shire.
She allows herself to be put in situations where God has to move.
94.9 KLTY welcomes Pink Impact with Christine Kane, Charlotte Gamble, and more. Worship with Carrie Joe. For tickets, go to pinkimpact.com. That's pinkimpact.com.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Coming up in just a couple of seconds, we are going to get to the heart of the debate between people who disagree with Syrian immigration and those who are pushing it forward as quickly as possible. People like Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings. Before we get to that, I want to talk to you about a guy who brings back a perspective that we have been dealing with militant Islam for a very long time. I'm talking about Brian Kilmeade. He is the author of a brand new book, Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates. He's a friend of this radio broadcast. And Brian, great to have you back on the show.
Well, thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I really appreciate having you on, too. I love your work every morning on Fox News Channel. And I have not been able to hear your radio show. For some reason, I seem to be working most of the time. And you're a terribly talented human being, a Renaissance man right in our midst.
I thank you. I'm just trying hard, trying to make the most of this great opportunity. It all starts at Fox News Channel. Without that, don't get the book deals, don't get the radio show. So I got really lucky in 1997. I'm just trying to hold on to the job, and the station has just become a monster in a good way.
And you're a part of that monstrous effort. You have really done a great job. You and your morning crew, you are a tight team, and it looks great every morning.
I appreciate that, especially when things start blowing up. People want to come to us, and thankfully, and also when people want to lighten it up, they're sticking around. So we're just trying to find that balance in the morning on Fox and Friends.
No, there's no doubt about it, and you certainly do, because I will tell you that Fox News Channel is the most trusted news organization in the world. So there you go.
Wow. Thanks a lot.
Nice job, man. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your latest book. You've written one before, George Washington's Secret Six. This one is Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates. And there's some certain resonances to what's going on today.
I mean, that's the whole thing. As much as we all love history, most people in news have a sense of history, and that's what I would do to relax. That's my exciting life. A lot of people golf. You know, I work out, I stay fit, but for the most part, I'm hobbyless. What I do is when I have some free time, I'm always reading history. I never thought those two paths would cross. But when I started watching Glenn Beck on our channel when he was there and seeing him open up with black and white footage, and I thought, man, that's death for news viewers. And it ended up being fantastic. And I see what Bill O'Reilly's done in the past. I thought I got this idea about George Washington inspiring, which very few people know about. And it ended up being a bestseller for 18 weeks, and they say, we got to go back and do another one. So I love the rare stories that have a lot to do with the news, but go back in American history. And I think I found it, sadly, with the war on terror, because it's never ended. It is back now in full bloom. We saw that Friday. We see it with the CIA director saying we've got too many, and the FBI director saying we have too many leads to follow. We can't hear them all. And I just hearken back to, believe it or not, to Jefferson, Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and Washington. They were dealing with the same challenges, Islamic extremism. We don't want to fight them. We want it to go away, but we can't because they have a say in it. Now, back then, we weren't a superpower. Now we are. Now we're choosing not to annihilate them. Back then, without a Navy, they were choosing to enslave our guys, take our ships, and plunder our cargo. And now we're talking 1785. We're talking before we had a constitution, before we even had a president, we had our first international crisis. So I thought if I'm able to bring that up as compelling a story has been told to me and what I've researched, I thought we'd have a shot at being successful. And thanks to the people of Texas, to a great deal, and the passion people have for Fox, the book opened up number 3 in the New York Times list and maybe even going higher after my visit to Texas this weekend.
Well, we'd love to have you. From what I understand, you're going to be in Bryan, Texas, also the Woodlands, just north of Houston, and right here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah, I'll be there Friday night at 7 at Barnes & Noble in Lincoln Park. And hopefully I'll be on the morning show prior to that. Take a quick stop in Oklahoma. And then I'll be in Woodlands on Saturday at 1 and then 7 o'clock in Hastings, which is Bryan, Texas, appropriately. But the main reason I'm excited about talking about it is because it's, you guys are kind enough to put me on. But for the most part, I'm able to tell you that Jefferson had the same problem as Barack Obama and George Bush.
He was up against the Tripoli pirates, who were Muslim, and what they were doing in North Africa was essentially ruling the roost. They treated themselves like despots and unchallengeable warlords and kings, and they had no problem whatsoever in stopping the merchant traffic of a brand new republic, which was in debt and desperately needed to increase commerce. And Thomas Jefferson, coming to work in 1801, had to solve this problem first.
Yeah, at first he tried to do it in 1785, and him and John Adams split on this. They were freaked out as well as angered by the meeting they had. They want exorbitant amounts of money just to use international waters. It's outrageous. And Jefferson's like, aren't we Americans? Didn't we just fight for our freedom? And John Adams says, I feel the same way, essentially, but we can't fight them lest we want to fight them forever. And he's right, and we are. But he also said America doesn't have the stomach for a long war, and that is true. So in it, Adams says, Jefferson says, that's fine, but the price we're going to pay is extortion. It's only going to go up. The attacks are going to start again. And they were right on all counts. By the time Washington takes over, 20% of our entire budget goes to payouts to these thugs, to these Islamic extremists. But it didn't work because they would still break the treaty. They would still take our stuff. Our guys could not get free. We didn't have a ton of money to pay off. What's odd about now is we have the best military, the strongest economy, and we're choosing not to take this fight on.
Which is absolutely amazing to me. We're speaking with Brian Kilmeade. Fox and Friends is the show he does every single morning. He's written Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates. There are all kinds of amazing stories in this. We've seen piracy in that very same area, although maybe on the other side of Africa, we saw Captain Phillips in the attack on the USS Cole and so on and so forth. So this, as you've said, has a long and frustrating history for us.
I'll even go back to the coal. I mean, the coal gets its sign blown off. They're just trying to get gas. We don't have a problem with off the coast of Yemen, but we have a huge terror issue. We end up half these guys build Gitmo from Yemen. And then we got these militants who are in Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and Tripoli. We now know it as Libya, Tunisia, Tunisia as well as Algeria, but then it was Tunis and Algiers. And it's the same mindset. In the end, we had to fight them. In the end, to get the world's respect, we had to show we would not give in. In the end, we had to build the Navy. We get it good. And just like every war America's in, we start off wrong and with the right intent. We adjust tactics. We get the right commanders in charge. And you'll see that in the book. Jefferson struggles. He realized he's got the wrong commandant, and he pulls him out. Gets the right one in there, but he pulls him out right before the end in Edward Preble. My hope is for the people of Texas to understand that as much as Jefferson might get you to buy the book, you'll close the book and think of William Eaton, Steve Decatur, Edward Preble, James Cathcart, and Richard O'Brien. And you're going to say, what great Americans? Why don't I know more? And I think there's a generation of great Americans now. They don't want you to know more about them. They're fighting for the country. They did it for the cause, and they don't want a pat on the back. Now, we know the Founding Fathers, we worship the Founding Fathers, but they would be the first to tell you by their writings that it's about Edward Preble. It's about these great Americans who sometimes give it all for a country. In the beginning, when I wrote about George Washington's Secret Six, the idea for a country, and now we're doing it to get our countrymen free of slavery, and we're getting it for the right to freely trade on the open seas and the right to bail ourselves out of wartime debt. And it's pretty much the same attitude now. And I thought this was amazing. Jefferson ran on the platform of getting back the passion of 76. He was worried in 1801, he was worried we're losing the spirit of the revolution. Can you imagine how we'd feel now if he was worried in 1801 about the spirit of 1776?
Yeah, I mean, when you start thinking about our founding fathers, I think they'd be spinning in their graves like a lathe if they knew what some of the things that were happening to us right now.
But we adjust. You know what? I always say that after seeing what President Obama's done, and I was so hopeful, and the people on my radio show are merciless in reminding me, I go, he's 48 years old. He's not dug into Democratic ideology. Don't be surprised if he breaks away from the old ideologues and does his own thing and tries to become a more bipartisan president. And man, do I paid for that remark, because he's been just the opposite. He's been the worst in terms of getting parties together. He has not used his charisma, his power, to bring us together. In fact, every time he's on the national stage, I feel like he's putting our country down. And I think now we're going to be a self-correcting country. We're going to get a person in there that understands we are an exceptional nation and understands we're being pressed to fight and understands when we do make mistakes, they're hustle mistakes, because we're better than every other country on the planet. That's why people swim and race together rafts to get here and sneak over that you could only see them on green lights to get in. They're not doing that elsewhere because there's no great magnet. And the more you research, the more you find out that it's not us rooting for the home team. We are an exceptional country, and the president has made us evaluate that. And that's why I believe our Constitution was set up to adjust for the good and bad leaders. And I think we're with an awful one.
We are very, very fortunate to have American patriot, author, and television star Brian Kilmeade joining us on the Wells Report. Again, the book is Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates. You know, as we see President Obama say that there's nothing wrong with the strategy that he's employed, he says that all we have to do is be patient, et cetera, et cetera. Jefferson had to send a brand new Navy with brand new Marines to a country and basically blockade Tripoli in Libya, and that's where this all starts to boil over, as you said moments ago, Brian, that eventually we're going to have to fight.
Yeah, I mean, if we just do airstrikes, it's not going to work. If we just showed up with big ships, we hoped that would intimidate them. It didn't work. Then we had rules of engagement to prevent us from really stopping them before they got away. We changed the rules of engagement. We started pressing and pounding the shores like we panned from the sky. But it was a ground war ultimately that brought Tripoli to its knees. And that's what we're going to need now. That's why I think the book is selling. As cute as I am, and you know I am cute.
A devilishly handsome soul, buddy. Let me tell you.
Thank you very much. But I don't think a lot of people buying the book, they have no idea who I am. They say, man, if Jefferson can help us through this difficult time, if they could see the way our founding fathers like Adams, Washington, and Madison wrestled with the same issues and then ultimately prevailed over it and taught the world a lesson, can't we look back to look ahead? And that's what I think is happening. The blockade wasn't effective. Just hitting from the shore wasn't effective. A combination of both worked.
And it did. And this was a point where finally the United States and the Marine Corps, still remembering that battle from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, the United States Marine Corps started their career by doing this amazing work for the sake of the United States.
He did. And it was Presley O'Bannon, if I can have you look up somebody who was so gallant and courageous. He got this curled sword, this special sword from Hamid. He was the deposed leader who was looking to put back in power. And it was so special that it's in the Marine Museum today. And every Marine has an option has to have that sword that was given to Presley O'Bannon for their unbelievable feat of taking Derna outside Benghazi and Tripoli in 2.5 hours, even though they were outmanned 2-1. No one understood what our nation was about or who we were, but man, they knew we could fight, and we knew we were stubborn and relentless, and we would adjust. And that's what William Eaton did, and that's what Presley O'Bannon did. And together, their leadership is leadership personified, that you could look up them and they would be a book in itself. But I just made them part of a story, and they're the Barbary Wars. The wars nestled between the War of 1812 and the Revolution, the war against radical Islam, the war we couldn't figure out, but we ultimately prevailed because we went for an absolute victory. And believe it or not, it had to happen in 1815 in Madison, because Tripoli was able to stand because Jefferson wasn't able to make the final move without communication. They cut it a little bit early, so they had to go back and finish him off for good. And not only did we free our prisoners, we freed the world's prisoners. And it prompted guys like Pope Pius of the time, who was more powerful than any pope we had today. America has done in their short time more for Christianity than all the other nations in their time in its entirety. So this is what he did. They stood up for Christians because Christians were being targeted because they weren't Muslim. We did it for America and the rest of the world, and we taught everybody a lesson. And that was the emergence of America as a naval and superpower. And they knew, everybody knew, we're a rich nation that will outwork you and we'll beat you. And that was the beginning of the start. Now, what do we do in World War I? We disarmed. We had to ramp up again. What do we do for World War II? We disarmed. We had to ramp up again. What do we do after the revolution? We disarmed. Had to ramp up again. Hopefully, we're not stupid enough to continue to contract, so we have to disarm and then ramp up again. Hopefully, we learn from this. And hopefully, when you pick up Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates, you're not going to take Brian Kilmeade's advice. You're going to take Thomas Jefferson's advice.
He is Brian Kilmeade. He is Fox and Friends, a comic relief and great newsman, by the way, as well. He is an author who has written George Washington's Secret Six and now Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates. You can get a signed copy at the Lincoln Park Barnes and Noble on Friday as Brian Kilmeade comes to town to give us more information on this book. Sir, it's a privilege and a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If everybody wants a signed copy and you can't come out, go to briankilmeade.com. I'll sign by my house, and we'll send it for the holidays.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us on the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer.
Thanks so much.
We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer. It's Baylor Bears football right here on 660 a.m. The Answer. Join John Morris and J.J. Joe as they bring you every bone-jarring hit and sensational touchdown as the Bears compete for the Big 12 title. Tune in this Saturday as the Baylor Bears take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys in a Big 12 clash. Pre-game gets started at 6 p.m. and the kickoff's at 6:30. Everything heard right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Does it seem like you never have time to do the higher things in life, like being creative, helping a ministry, or just visiting more with your loved ones? Instead, you get home from work tired, you watch a little TV, you go to bed, and the next day you do it all again. If you had more free time, what would you do with it? I'm Pastor David Mitchell, founder of New Venture on Wall Street. At New Venture, we believe the best way to gain time freedom is through investing, not by working for someone else. Come join us for a 2-day training session. You'll learn biblical business principles combined with a powerful trading skill set that could help you free up some of your time.
Coming to the Dallas Sheraton by the Galleria and Norris Conference Center, Fort Worth, December 4th and 5th. It's only $99.95 for your entire household, plus a free ticket for a friend and a full money-back guarantee. To register, call 877-907-TRADE. That's 877-907-8723. Or go to nvows.com. That's nvows.com.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through December 31st, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Max, This Is Not a Test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guests Britt Nicole, Colton Dixon, and Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Now, let's talk about the realities of this. Let's take a look at two sides of a question. Those people who are multiculturalists, specifically in Europe. And there are some here in the United States, essentially in the guise of progressive, well, actually progressives in the guise of being Democrats. There are two sides on this. One, there is the side that I take, which is until we get some handle on the peaceful transformation of Islamic terrorism, until we get to the point where Islamic terrorism is solidly in the past and not in the future of Islam, we're not doing anything to aid and abet their continued use of terror as part of a way to bring about a political agenda. I believe that Islam uses terrorism simply as a way to enforce its religion and its politics. I'm not talking about militant Islam. I'm talking about Islam. In Islamic countries, if you are found guilty of stealing, for example, they chop off one of your hands. In Islamic countries, if you are gay, they throw you off of buildings. If you are female, you walk around in a tent all day. You are not allowed to drive. Some of these things are not terrorist. Some of these things are not terrorist acts. Some of them are. There are politicians all over Europe that are trying to figure out just exactly how they're going to keep their hands on power, insofar as their multiculturalist ideologies now have led to an existential threat to their very culture. How many Englishmen are going to be living in Great Britain when you think about the fact that currently in Great Britain, the number one baby name is Mohammed? It's the same story for Germany. It's the same story for France. It's the same story for Serbia. It's the same story for Hungary. On the other side, people like Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings, who believes that it's in the spirit of Dallas to help resettle Syrian refugees. There's Hillary Clinton, who has characterized what Republicans are saying, which essentially is, no, we're going to slow down here. Whoa. Hillary Clinton calls this, we've seen a lot of hateful rhetoric from the GOP. But the idea that we turn away refugees because of religion is a new low. What are these people attempting to do? What are the multiculturalists trying to get done? What are nationalists on the other side of the coin? What are they trying to get done? What kind of people are they? When we come to this conversation, I am trying to identify factually the two sides of this question. And what are the merits and difficulties in each side's rhetoric? That's all next on the Wells Report.
Hey, it's Mark Davis with a message for the fall from my friends at Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They do them both, air conditioning and heating, as their name suggests. And obviously, when the weather's hot, they're your AC company. But now, in the fall, as the temperatures drop, Walker Air Conditioning and Heating focuses on heating your heating system, making sure it's working great. Call them at 972-4-WALKER, 972-4, Walker, or WalkerAC.com. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They're my company. Make them your company. For repairs at a fair price, if you need something replaced, they got all the great brands at all the best prices. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. Don't head into the cooler months with a heating system that's not working right. Get it fixed right or replaced at the best prices with the best products. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, 972-4-WALKER, 972-4-WALKER, 972-4, Walker, or WalkerAC.com. A company that's been around more than 50 years. You can trust them. I love them. 972-4-WALKER or WalkerAC.com.
A non-attorney spokesperson. The Sentinel Group with principal office in Temecula, California is responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention, if you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to cash compensation. Call 800-341-0345 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa are prescription blood thinners used to reduce the risk of blood clots and stroke. Dangerous side effects have been discovered, which have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Call 800-341-0345 now if you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced internal bleeding or were hospitalized for a serious bleeding event. Don't be a silent victim. Call 800-341-0345 now to see if you may be entitled to a cash award and substantial financial compensation. Time is limited to file a claim, so call 800-341-0345 now. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-341-0345. That's 800-341-0345. 800-341-0345.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977 for details.
Hi, I'm Tom Kidd, engineering graduate of Texas A&M and owner of Structured Foundation Repairs. Our number is 972-484-1200. Our motto is to do the right thing. In some respects, it's hard being the company that always does the right thing. But for our customers' sake, it's very important that we do. Being fully insured, as an example, costs us a lot of money, but it protects our customers. Having employees instead of day laborers is a huge responsibility, but our dedicated employees ensure that we do the best repairs we can. Managing a large office staff can be tedious, but they provide our customers a helpful voice when they need something urgent. Returning every phone call is time-consuming, but instills our customers with confidence that we will always be there when they need us. The Aggie Code of Honor states that Aggies don't lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those that do. That code was the principle our company was founded on, and it guides our daily operations. If this sounds like the kind of company you could trust to repair your foundation, call us today for a free evaluation at 972-484-1200 or click structuredfoundation.com.
Growth can be an intimidating 6-letter word, especially when the guys upstairs want 7% of it. That's why you need one 8-letter word, Grainger. Grainger. The G is for growth. From industry specialists to over 1 million products across almost every category, Grainger has the resources to help us grow. Now, can you guess what my favorite 4-letter word is? WORK. Let's get back to it. Get it? Got it? Good. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen temporal scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers, or visit us at Exergen.com.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Two sides of the Syrian question, specifically Syrian immigration. What has been used by the left, the progressive movement, the multicultural movement, as a way to split the populations of their various constituencies is that those people who disagree with unfettered immigration of Syrian refugees into countries all around the world, what they've used is the simple race card, the xenophobia card, the Islamophobia card, blah, blah, blah. Hillary Clinton on Tuesday strongly rebuked Republicans over calls to screen Syrian refugees coming into the U.S., calling their hateful rhetoric a new low. Chancellor Angela Merkel of Germany said that Germany's economy is strong enough to absorb the influx of refugees, standing by her open-door policy, as a poll shows gains for an anti-immigration political party. Merkel's stance in the aftermath of the Paris terror attack underscores her willingness to court political risk and resist pressure within and outside her party bloc to close Germany's borders. Amid speculation that one of the suicide bombers entered the European Union as a refugee, Merkel has said that asylum seekers shouldn't have to bear the blame for last week's attack. Nobody's blaming these immigrants for last week's attack. But to set aside the fact that those immigrants represent a serious threat, both from a terror standpoint and a cultural demographic standpoint, to set that aside is stupid. Which, of course, represents my side of the question. Do these people need a place to stay safely? Of course they do. They absolutely do. Should one be created somewhere in Syria, somewhere in Saudi Arabia, somewhere in the Middle East? Of course. But should that place be the United States of America? Should it be Germany? Should it be Britain? Should it be France? I don't think so. Now, does that make me a bigot? Does that make me an Islamophobe? Does that make me hateful? Do I represent a new low in conservative political thought? 866-660-5759. Joy in Argyle, welcome to the Wells Report. Hi.
Hi. I think that most of these so-called liberals are either lying to themselves and us, or they truly don't believe what they claim they believe. Otherwise, they would not want people that think that it's okay for women to have no rights, including no rights of their body. So therefore, of course, a woman couldn't choose to have an abortion because anything like that would only be allowed by her husband. Two, they have no voting rights. They have no rights to education. People don't have a right to be gay. People don't have a right to have another religion other than
Islam,
the one that's professed.
Sure.
And so, therefore, either these people are lying to us which I think they're doing that. But also, I think they may be, if they really truly believe what they claim they say, then they're lying to themselves or they're just stupid.
I have to say that analysis is right on point. These people have been paying attention very closely to all of the civil liberties enjoyed by most of Europe and all of the United States. These rights are being used perfectly as tools to pursue their political agenda. When it comes to mainstream Islam, there are people who believe that those who somehow denigrate the prophet should be put to death. That's not some crazy Islamic terrorist I'm talking about there. That's the former Cat Stevens. People who leave the Islamic faith should be put to death, according to mainstream Islam. That is terrorism to me. Stoning a woman to death for adultery after she's been raped is terrorism to me. Amputations. The cessation of civil and constitutional rights. That's terrorism to me. These are things that are a part of mainstream life in Islam. So when someone comes to me and says, well, you're just an Islamophobe, I am most certainly not an Islamophobe. I am someone who believes that freedom and liberty on a personal level is worthy of my greatest efforts to defend. And that doesn't make me a bigot. That makes me a patriot. That makes me a constitutional, conservative, American patriot. My First Amendment right allows me to say, no, do not bring Syrian refugees into this country when Syria is the manufacturing locale for every terrorist in the world. I have the right to say that without being called a bigot, without my motives being questioned. To do otherwise is flat anti-American. Hillary Clinton says hateful rhetoric on Syria. Excuse me, ma'am, where does the First Amendment fit into that statement? Nowhere. Okay, she can say it's her opinion. But you know, when she's the president, her opinion is policy. I'm sick and tired of being called a bigot because I believe that the use of terrorism is part and parcel of Islamic life. Not militant Islamic life, mainstream Islamic life. JB in Midlothian, welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
Thank you very much, sir. The liberal elites, if they really felt like the refugees would be placed in their own communities, let's say around White Rock Lake, Turtle Creek, etc., and then wherever else in other major cities, they would probably think about it a little bit more before bringing them over. But we all know that the refugees that are currently here are all placed in low socioeconomic areas and low income housing, And so it's just another example of their bleeding hearts. Taking care of other people comes at the expense of other people.
Yeah, as long as they're not spending their own money, et cetera, I suppose it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's the spirit of Dallas to help resettle Syrian refugees. That's Mike Rawlings. That's what he says. Sorry, Mike. You need to put that to a vote of the people of Dallas. That's too big a decision to make just on your own personal ideology, sir. All of these Syrians coming out of this tortured and nearly destroyed land are not terrorists. We know that. But when we live in a country where a guy who drives a cab shoots his daughters to death, oh, by the way, another mainstream Muslim shoots his daughters to death because they are too westernized, and then vanishes without a trace. Did he do that by himself? I don't believe so. How did he get out of the country if that's where he went? How does he stay in the country in secret? Someone's keeping him under wraps. Who? That's terrorism too. Because the same mechanisms that take a perpetrator of an honor killing against his own daughters can certainly make sure that people here that bring Kalashnikovs, ammunition, grenades, and the will to attack the next Cowboys game can also be under wraps and out of sight of police and the FBI and all the rest. This is not racism. This is reality. To say otherwise is sophistry. I have no racial animus whatsoever against Muslims. I'm just reporting the news. If Muslims have a problem with anything that I'm saying, they need to look to themselves and stop these people from behaving this way. A few more of these attacks like this scattered around Europe and, oh, by the way, the United States. And this is going to come crashing down around these people who complain about the fact that they're victims of Islamophobia. It's going to come crashing around their head like they wouldn't believe in a big fat hurry. I guarantee you the right set of terrorist actions in the United States, and we will deport all non-American citizen Muslims. You think it's a problem deporting 11 million illegal workers in the United States? Watch how quickly the United States will rid itself of non-American citizen Muslims. If something like what just happened to Paris happens in the United States, and there won't be anyone that will stand up and say, no, we can't do that. It's not in the spirit of Dallas to deport these people back to the Middle East, where they can happily continue killing each other for the sake of the fact that they disagree on what the Quran says, which is what the root cause of all of this is. I don't want to live in a world where there are no Jews. I do not want to live in a world where women are not allowed to enjoy their sexuality or even being able to walk around with their faces uncovered. I don't want to live in the world where gay people are thrown off buildings. I don't want to live in the world where the easiest and quickest way to rehabilitate someone from thievery is to chop off one of their hands. I don't want that. I don't want to live in a world where the German culture is now submerged for all time until oblivion in Sharia law. I don't want the French wine industry to be destroyed as a matter of new national policy by the Sharia law empowered government of France. That's where we are. That's how this is working. I think it should be stopped. What do you think? This is the Wells Report. More than $100 million has been given to liberal candidates by major mobile companies, major mobile cell phone companies. They've elected more than 10,000 liberals to office at local, state, and national levels. There is an alternative if you don't want your money that you pay for your cell phone to go to the liberal agenda. EOS Mobile is waiting for you. A cell phone company set up by conservatives for conservatives. It's the only mobile company that pledges to support conservative causes, groups, and candidates with 5% of every dollar they make. EOS Mobile plans average at 10 to 15% lower in price than the big guys for the same package of phone, data, text, and talk. They have the latest smartphones like the iPhone 6, and also for the people that love Android, Samsung Galaxy Note 4. If you want just a regular phone that texts, hey, they've got those too. You got a contract? Don't worry about that. EOS Mobile will buy you out of your contract, and you'll be able to keep your same telephone number. If you're not sure, you want to find out more, go to eoscell.com, www.eoscell.com. Check out the blog there. Listen to what the satisfied customers of EOS Mobile have to say. Click over to their coverage map. You will be amazed. Contact EOS for more information. www.eoscell.com. eoscell.com. eoscell.com. Get in touch. Tell them you heard about it on the Wells Report.
More of the Wells Report is coming up next on 660 AM. The Answer.
Happy fall, y'all. Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy here, reminding you to tune into my show, The Big Boat and Outdoor Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m. You know, this is one of my favorite times of the year to be out on the water. It's never crowded and the fall colors are beautiful. You can also find some great deals on pre-enjoy boats during the fall and winter months. Make an educated and well-informed purchase by tuning in to The Big Boat and Outdoor Show every Saturday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM. The Answer.
There is joy in holiday shopping, but it's a challenge too. Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. All the driving, the crowds, the hassles, the high prices. Well, what if I could send you to a place to save big on the most special people on your list? Just so happens I can. Check the Golden Guide to Gifting at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. Pendants, earrings, bracelets, and for the guys, previously owned Rolexes save a ton, and nobody knows it's previously owned. I'm not telling, but I'll tell you this. For more than 20 years, Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange has been my headquarters for jewelry shopping, getting cash for jewelry I don't want anymore, investing in gold, silver, and precious metals. Always great customer service, always the best prices, selection and quality you just can't find anywhere else. Everybody knows where to make the holidays sparkle. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange, 6 locations, and DGSE.com. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange, DGSE.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a SelectQuote agent with a true story of how SelectQuote goes to bat for you buying term life insurance. A while back, a man called me who had prostate cancer. He asked if I could beat a very high quote another life insurance agent had given him. I said, "Let me see." Well, I took his pertinent information, then shopped the highly rated, price-competitive companies we represent, and found one who pre-approved him for a premium way below what he had been quoted. When it comes to term life insurance, no other company touches SelectQuote's experience and expertise in finding the right policy at the right price for almost anyone. How about you?
For your free quote, call 1-800-500-5236. That's 1-800-500-5236. 1-800-500-5236. Or go to selectquote.com. We shop, you save.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. The LASIK Vision Institute is now offering dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology for a fraction of what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-944-5266. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve at a fraction of what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-944-5266. 1-800-944-5266.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Now, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. There's breaking news that involves the diversion of two Air France flights from Los Angeles to Paris. They are about to land at Salt Lake City. They are being diverted because of security issues. These security issues are unnamed. I'm being handed copy on this from CNN. Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate that. Two Air France flights have been diverted tonight because of bomb threats. Both flights have landed safely. Diversion of flights are the most draconian response to a bomb threat, I think, right now. We take this seriously until we hear explanation to the validity of the bomb threat. This, according to CNN national security analyst Juliette Kayyem. Flight 65, headed from LA to Paris, was diverted to Salt Lake City after a bomb threat was called in from the ground. The official did not know if anyone was arrested, was not aware of any unruly passengers on board. Shortly afterwards, Air France Flight 55 from Washington's Dulles International Airport to Charles de Gaulle in Paris was diverted to an airport in Halifax, Nova Scotia, also due to a bomb threat. No, the source did not know if the same person called in both threats. More details in a moment. You are listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM, The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from our friends at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. You ever hear the saying, it's all in a name? Well, that's their name, USMD Prostate Cancer Center. It's what they do. It's their one focus, their one mission, to diagnose, fight, and defeat prostate cancer, a disease that affects 1 in 6 men in our lifetimes. So if you've got a family history of prostate cancer, you've been recently diagnosed, I urge you, visit with one of the renowned physicians at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. It's a unique place. They focus specifically on helping men defeat prostate cancer. How? A range of different treatments. Sometimes it's cryotherapy, sometimes it's robotic surgery. It might be no surgery. Not everything is something that you jump on immediately. Call now for an appointment to ask any questions, 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. If you're hearing me talk about this and you know someone recently diagnosed, a friend, a family member, coworker, somebody at church, put them on the phone to 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. That's how important this is. 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. USMD Prostate Cancer Center.
Did your financial advisor lose 30% of your life savings in the last bear market? Are you afraid it could happen again? I'm Pastor David Mitchell, founder of New Venture on Wall Street, a company that specializes in teaching you how to cut out the middleman and take control of your money. At our 2-day training session, you'll learn how business principles from the Bible, combined with our powerful skill sets for stock trading, can give you the ability to make informed financial decisions for your family. Having control can give you peace of mind even in an uncertain market, because nobody cares as much about your hard-earned money as you do. New Venture on Wall Street. Build your legacy.
Coming to the Dallas Sheraton by the Galleria and Norris Conference Center, Fort Worth, December 4th and 5th. It's only $99.95 for your entire household, plus a free ticket for a friend and a full money-back guarantee. To register, call 877-907-TRADE. That's 877-907-8723. or go to nvows.com. That's nvows.com.
Hi, I'm Larry Patterson, owner of Glass Doctor. In our disposable society, we're conditioned to throw out the whole thing when just one part goes bad. Like when the insulated glass windows in your home get condensation between the panes. You don't need to replace the whole window. The specialists at Glass Doctor can install new insulated glass in your existing frames with a lifetime warranty for a lot less than you might think. To see how quick and easy it is, visit glassdoctor.com today. That's glassdoctor.com.
Call the Glass Doctor, will fix your paint. Oh, yeah.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. NASDAQ has SALM, KSKY, Baltimore Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. 2 Air France flights to Paris making unscheduled stops because of security threats. One out of LAX diverted to Salt Lake City. Another flight out of Dulles in Washington, D.C. diverted to the airport in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Dumping up to 16 inches of snow in Colorado and Kansas, shutting down I-70 east of Denver, stranding people in cars and semis. A storm system now causing problems in the South and Midwest. In Texas and Arkansas,
there's been areas of flooding. There have been a number of damaging wind reports, trees down, causing problems in the areas where those storms have moved through.
National Weather Service meteorologist Corey Meade saying it just isn't his time. Bobby Jindal drops out of the GOP presidential race. Will he endorse anyone?
The press loves to see whether a politician endorses another. The reality is, though, I don't think people care.
In other words, no. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer. Bill Bennett agrees that the media are going after Ben Carson.
This is so trivial. Supposing that he made it up. Supposing he just thought at one point he might go to West Point and he'd get a full ride. And he might have gone there. So what? What does that have to do with his conduct in public policy, foreign policy, domestic policy? This is just crazy. Crazy.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America. Weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Hi, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center. Thanksgiving right around the corner. You're probably busy thinking about turkey and travel plans, but hey, clear vision without glasses or contacts, that's not on your list of things you're thankful for yet. Let's change that with Climate Evangelista Eye Center. Now is the time. Treat yourself to blade-free HD Intra LASIK and look at the timing. Folks at Climate Evangelista Eye Center teaming up with the Rush Creek Food Pantry to feed local families in need. Here's how we can help. Drop off 5 non-perishable food items to Climate Evangelista in Arlington, Plano, or the newest location at Knox Henderson in Dallas. And while you're there, get an official gift certificate for $1,500 off blade-free HD Intra LASIK. Wow. And of course, at Climate Evangelista, they accept all the flex plans, medical spending accounts for LASIK, and they have interest-free financing. So if you take $1,500 off, the extra tax-free dollars, the option for easy payments, it's a no-brainer. LASIK at Climate Evangelista, the best budget-friendly decision you ever made. That number again, 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020, or LASIKsurgery.com.
One day, we were like, hey, you know what would be great?
What's that?
A huge Christmas party this December. Let's say December 5th.
Fun.
And you know who we should invite?
Ooh, how about Toby Mac? Call him.
So we did. Dude, Toby, hey, call up some of your closest friends. We're throwing a party.
Yeah, we holla at you.
So here's your official invite. Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Mac's This Is Not a Test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guest Britt Nicole. Colton Dixon. And Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2. Call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-400-9904. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-400-9904. Step 3. Congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-400-9904. That's 1-800-400-9904.
Have you started thinking about your New Year's resolution? Get a head start on your future by making a resolution that can help you change your life forever. Earn your degree online from Arizona State University. At ASU, we believe the best time to start planning for your future is right now. That's why we offer over 100 of our world-class undergraduate and graduate degrees completely online. For information, call 1-800-400-0092. ASU Online offers the same degrees and the same prestigious faculty as on campus, with flexibility to take classes wherever you are, whenever it fits your schedule. Discover for yourself why U.S. News & World Report named ASU #1 in the nation for innovation, ahead of both MIT and Stanford. We're now accepting applications for the spring semester. Make this year the start of something big. Call now to get started and make this the year you learn to thrive. To learn more about ASU degrees online, call 1-800-400-0092. That's 1-800-400-0092.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through December 31st, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
660 AM, The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. The very latest comes out of MyFox Boston and, news from NBC News. Bomb threats forced 2 Air France flights bound for Paris to be diverted tonight. An Air France jet from Los Angeles International Airport landed at Salt Lake City. Another flight from Washington Dulles International Airport near Washington, D.C., landed in Halifax, Nova Scotia. The bomb threats were called in, according to the airline. The Air France officials said it requested the planes land as a precaution, and the local authorities are carrying out complete inspections of the aircraft, the passengers, and their luggage. The incidents come amid heightened fears of terrorism after the deadly attacks on Paris on Friday, which killed 129 people. A passenger on the flight from Los Angeles, Keith Rosso, told NBC News about 2 hours into the flight, as they were having a meal in business class, flight attendants hurriedly grabbed everyone's plates, announcing the plane was making an emergency landing. Buses were waiting for the plane. When it arrived in Salt Lake City, passengers were taken to another location. A person who said they were with the FBI told passengers they would be interviewing passengers about an unsafe flying condition, said Russo. The plane that was diverted to Halifax landed safely at 10:15 with 298 passengers and crew on board. This is according to Halifax Stanfield International Airport. Earlier tonight, there was a security scare aboard a London to Boston British Airways flight after a woman allegedly tried to open the plane's emergency exit door mid-flight. Massachusetts State Police said in a statement that the passenger was intoxicated. There was no link to terrorism. Russian officials confirmed today that a passenger jet that crashed in Egypt October 31st was brought down by a bomb. The terror group ISIS claimed responsibility for that crash, which killed all 224 people on board. That is the latest. By the way, one more story here that I want to pass along to you. Israel announced today it has outlawed an Islamist party accused of inciting violence among the country's Arabic citizens. This is part of measures to stamp out a 2-month-long deadly escalation. The government declared the northern branch of the Islamic Movement of Israel was illegal, saying its activists could be subject to arrest if they violate the ban. The party, which provides religious and educational services for Israeli Arabs, routinely accuses Israel of trying to take over a sensitive holy site in Jerusalem, a charge Israel denies. The site is at the heart of the latest surge in the Palestinian-Israeli violence. After the decision, Israeli forces searched more than a dozen of the group's offices around the country, seizing computers, files, and funds. Authorities also froze its bank accounts and said that 17 organizations affiliated with the party were served with orders to close down. Israel's public security minister, Gilad Erdan, linked the decision to the attacks in Paris, saying in a statement that Israel must act as an example and spearhead the struggle against radical Islam, whose emissaries we saw massacring innocent people in Paris and elsewhere. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the goal is to stop the dangerous incitement at home and prevent harm to innocent life. Radical cleric Raed Salah, the group's leader, was defiant, saying that his party would fight the measure and continue its mission. Quote, all of these measures done by the Israeli establishment are oppressive and condemned, adding that he and 2 other party leaders were summoned to police questioning. Separately, Salah is set to start an 11-month jail term later this month in connection with incitement charges from a 2007 sermon. The ban sparked outrage among many Arab leaders and lawmakers who condemned the move. So, someone just tweeted me and said, Jon-David, if you're not racist, why have you spent so much time telling us you're not racist? And my reply, I have not been able to whittle it down to the proper number of letters yet, but it's my reply is like this, because it's important to the points I'm making. The left, progressives, Islamic terror apologists, and terror sympathizers throw the race card when anyone brings up the fact that most terrorism is Islamic. People keep saying that the terrorists are not Islamic. The terrorists keep saying they're Islamic. We keep saying that we don't hold Islam accountable for worldwide terrorism. We should. There are voices on the Muslim street who decry and condemn the violence we're seeing in the name of Islam, in the name of Muhammad. But remember, mainstream, and I'm talking mainstream Islamic thought, says this: if you write a book, the Satanic Verses, if you draw a cartoon, Theo Van Gogh, you can either be threatened with death or outright put to death. This is mainstream Islam here. But somehow setting a Jordanian fighter pilot on fire on television is not enough to earn a death sentence. Beheading countless Christians, not enough to deserve a Muslim fatwa, a condemnation to death from some cleric somewhere. Draw a cartoon? Why, Muslims will arrive from states 3 states away and try to shoot you in the head. Fortunately, our police officers are better shots. That happened here. I am not an Islamophobe. I'm not a racist. I have no animus against Islamic people for the fact for Muslims because they're Muslim. None of it. And I say that because that is the only charge so far that people have come up with to shut people like me up. Political correctness has held its sway for near 20 years. I think it's time for free speech to get a chance. Let's get to Ray in Dallas. Thanks very much for joining us. Hello.
Hi, JD. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Hey, you said something a moment ago that piqued my curiosity because while you're going through your monologue before then, I was thinking about the very thing. Every time there's an example, Islamic terrorism, a bomb goes off, people are shot, whatever, I've always wondered, where are the imams, where are the clerics that are coming out publicly condemning it? All I hear is, crickets.
There
crickets
are
and tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
And to me, their lack of saying anything is almost a de facto condoning it.
Well, Ray, the simple case of the matter is that there are people of the Islamic street who do stand up and condemn this sincerely. They do. As I have said on several occasions, there are 3 sides to Islam. There are Islamic terrorists, Islamists. There are Muslims who cannot express the amount of horror they feel when the first group does all of its business. That's another version. That's another sect of Islam. But those are relatively small groups. And this is something we need to keep in mind. The small group that are terrorists are abhorred by the small group, slightly larger, of full-on patriotic Muslims who live in the United States, full-on patriotic Muslims who live in France, who live in Britain, who live in Germany. These people are horrified at these acts of barbarity. But there's a third group. A third group in the middle who don't say a word, who remain silent. What are they thinking? What side of this do they come down on? We don't know. We have no idea. We do know that these silent ones are at work at some level, because every now and then people are arrested for aiding and abetting terror around the world by sending money and resources and so on. Those are the silent ones. But we also see people being able to get into countries with fully automatic Kalashnikovs and explosive suicide vests into countries where no one can get their hands on plastic explosive. No one can get their hands on fully automatic Kalashnikovs. Somehow they manage to get into countries to be used in terror missions. How does that happen? How does a father who shot his daughters to death in Irving, Texas, simply disappear? There are two groups. Either the silent ones I'm talking about or full-on Muslim terrorists living in and about northern Texas who facilitated the escape of Yasser Saeed. I'm reasonably sure that the people who facilitated the escape of Yasser Saeed are not full-on Muslim terrorists. But I am sure they are the ones in the silent group. They keep their powder dry and wait and wait. I am here to say that Islamic terrorism is more mainstream than people want to admit. It's time for us to start thinking about that and where that leads us. This is the Wells Report.
The Mark Davis Show. Mark Davis Show.
The battle lines are drawn. ISIS versus the civilized world, and here in America, those unwilling to keep us safe versus those who demand it. From a Congress that may defund the crazy Syrian refugee plan to governors who may stand in its way, the war on terror reaches our shores in the form of a battle over who will protect us and who won't. The latest on these and other stories on our Wednesday show.
The Mark Davis Show. Weekday mornings at 7, right before Mike Gallagher at 10 on 660 AM, The Answer.
This is Greg Thornberry of the King's College in New York for townhall.com. Just subsidize the kids some more. That's the rule if a presidential candidate wants to get the vote of religious families. The American tax code is a punishing maze that leaves parents feeling confused and cheated. Building a new child credit into that structure is the kind of fix that social conservatives usually recommend. A better policy for families is a tax code that helps families realize their own aspirations. Such a plan actually has no child credits, but would be simpler and flatter with a top rate of, say, 20, 18, 15, or even, as Ben Carson would have it, 10%. A clearer, simpler, flatter tax code is an important symbol that says to adults, you can see that you will be able to enjoy a greater portion of the fruit of your labor. Once all families, including families of faith, understand the trade-offs, they too will choose a flat tax. I'm Greg Thornberry.
Hey, it's Mark Davis with a message for the fall from my friends at Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They do them both, air conditioning and heating, as their name suggests. And obviously, when the weather's hot, they're your AC company. But now, in the fall, as the temperatures drop, Walker Air Conditioning and Heating focuses on heating your heating system, making sure it's working great. Call them at 972-4-WALKER, 972, the number 4, Walker, or WalkerAC.com. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They're my company, make them your company. For repairs at a fair price, if you need something replaced, they got all the great brands at all the best prices. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. Don't head into the cooler months with a heating system that's not working right. Get it fixed right or replaced at the best prices with the best products. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, 972-4-WALKER, 972-4-WALKER, 972, the number 4, Walker, or WalkerAC.com. A company that's been around more than 50 years. You can trust them. I love them. 972-4-WALKER or WalkerAC.com.
It's happening to you every night. One snores and the other can't sleep. It seems like there's no end to it. But now, there is a quick and easy-to-use solution, a natural solution. Snore Stop. Snore Stop was created and tested by a team of physicians and has been helping couples sleep for over 18 years. It is the #1 selling anti-snoring medicine in the U.S.
Thank you, Snore Stop. You saved my marriage.
Snore Stop sprays or tablets are now available nationwide at a store near you, or you can go online at snorestop.com. Don't wait. It's time to try Snore Stop and make every night a better night for both of you.
Thanks, Snore Stop. Now I'm back in the bedroom.
So don't wait. Try Snore Stop, the #1 selling anti-snoring medicine in the U.S. Spray or tablets are available today at a store near you or online at snorestop.com. That's snorestop.com. Snore Stop, keeping you together.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977 for details.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report. Must hear radio on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. As we come to the microphone, there are reports via Twitter, and we're always extremely concerned about anything we hear on Twitter. A group out of something that is referred to as BNO News. Never heard of them. Are reporting heavy gunfire in the northern suburbs of Paris tonight. We're keeping our eyes on that for you as we wait to find out a little bit more about it. Like I said, this is so far an unconfirmed eyewitness report being reported by CNN. We haven't been able to double source it yet. We will. Vicky's working on that right now. We'll bring that information to you. Now, is this going to become the new normal? You would expect that there would be, after what appears to be a successful terror attack against an airliner, you would expect there to be follow-on bomb threats against airliners. And certainly Air France would be one of those targets. It is a huge monument to ill-advised speculation to believe that either of those bomb threats had anything to do with anybody going to a mosque or being a Muslim or what have you. There's just, it's probably just a couple of crackpots. But is this going to be the way we live? For how long? Is this what we're going to deal with forever? Why? When was the last day you can think of where Islamic terrorism didn't become part of your thought process? I would hope that you could think of several days like that. Unfortunately, I can't. Of course, I read the news for a living. This is nutty and it's crazy. And it's the way we live now. What are we going to do about this? What are we going to do? Anybody know? 866-660-5759. I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to make it excessively expensive for anybody to pull off terror attacks like this. We have to engage mainstream Islam to clean up its house. People who say we can't blame Islam for the actions of these terrorists need to sit down and shut up. We need to hold mainstream Islam responsible for those co-opting its religion as a pretext or some way of justifying heinous murder. That's what we need to do. That's the way this should be handled. And saying that it's not mainstream media's fault isn't working. This is the Wells Report.
Dennis Prager knows the real reason why the president of the University of Missouri resigned.
Because they would lose so much money if they forfeited the football game that they were about to play next Sunday. And many black players on the team said they wouldn't play unless you were forced to resign. It is sold and sold for a pot of gold. What should have been said was, if you don't play the game, you're off the team.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
She just looks that bowl squeaky clean. She loves Dynavite.
I've just tried this wonderful Catalicious Dynavite for cats.
The vitamins, the minerals.
It's got all the stuff in it that cats really like.
You don't even have to put food with the Dynavite. She will eat the powder right out of the scoop.
I was thrilled when I heard Dynavite for cats was coming out because I'd seen the changes in my dog.
She is not scratching anymore. She's not chewing anymore. DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000. Sammy, he's 13, 14 years old and is running around a little bit more. His coat is a little bit softer and shinier.
Justin's eyes sparkle more. He bats at stuff. He kind of jumps around.
Stacy and Suki have a cat tree in my living room, and lately she's been climbing up to the top, jumping up there, and then she'll climb back down, and then she's right back up again.
It is just the best Dynavite for cats.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
There are times when people need a little extra money, honest, hardworking people, and some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company who gets it, who can help my listeners who need it. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com to check your rate, risk-free with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If any of my listeners need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code BORROW. That's avantoffer.com, promo code BORROW. Avantoffer.com, promo code BORROW.
Loans made by WebBank. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
Warning. As the weather gets colder, mice, squirrels, rats, and other disgusting vermin may be invading your home, gnawing at support beams, chewing through wiring and insulation, and wreaking all kinds of damage, including expensive rodent damage that your home insurance probably won't cover because they consider it your negligence. Don't delay. Call the home protection experts at Terminix for a free inspection and a guaranteed solution. 1-800-229-3342. Terminix is the nation's leading provider of termite and pest control services. We eliminate and remove damaging invaders and seal your home from top to bottom to prevent future invasions. All backed by our Terminix guarantee. If they come back, so will we. Limitations may apply. Now is the time when vermin will be invading your home and causing damage, including expensive rodent damage your homeowner's insurance almost certainly won't cover. Call Terminix experts for a free inspection and details on a guaranteed solution. 1-800-229-3342. 1-800-229-3342.
When you cough all day, you forget what a miracle coughing is. Your cough soars out of your mouth at 50 miles an hour. Your cough is faster than a greyhound and nearly twice as fast as the fastest man on earth. So when your husband spends all night coughing, remember what an amazing world you live in.
Or else
Try Robitussin 12 Hour. It soothes and delivers fast, powerful cough relief for up to 12 hours. New Robitussin 12 Hour, because it's never just a cough. Use as directed.
What happened when thousands of women from all over the country come together to laugh, cry, worship, and lift each other up? Find out at Pink Impact on May 13th and 14th at the Fort Worth Convention Center with worship from Carrie Joe. Pink Impact features speakers like Priscilla Shire, Debbie and Robert Morris, Linda Lane, Christine Kane, Charlotte Gamble, and more. You can't miss this women's conference. 94.9 KLTY welcomes Pink Impact, May 13th and 14th. Get tickets and details now at pinkimpact.com. That's pinkimpact.com.
Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Max. This is not a test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guests Britt Nicole, Colton Dixon, and Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. The Wells Report is on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Apparently, CNN has now got a banner over their website. Let me get there. Let me get over there right now. Stand by. Vicky's got it right here. Okay, witnesses report heavy gunfire. Police are blocking roads in northern Paris. This is a suburb of Saint-Denis. It's happening early Wednesday morning there. Police officers have been shot and wounded during a raid seeking one of the suspects in the Paris terror attacks. This according to CNN affiliate BFM TV. The older brother of Salah Abdeslam, the man being hunted internationally for his alleged role in the Paris terror attacks last week, urged the suspect to turn himself over to authorities. I would tell him to surrender. That's the best solution. We do not know whether or not Salah Abdeslam, Abdeslam, Abdeslam. We don't know whether he is the suspect that that authorities in Paris or outside of Paris were searching for. But there is this from CNN that witnesses report heavy gunfire. Police are blocking roads in the northern Paris suburb of Saint-Denis. Police officers have been shot and wounded during a raid seeking one of the suspects in the Paris terror attacks. We will keep our eyes open and let you know exactly what's going on. But ever since last Friday, there have been nonstop breaking news stories involving Islamist terror. Eight 866-660-5759 is our telephone number, 866-660-5759. Is this the new normal? Yes or no? Why? Is this the new normal? Is this what we're going to be dealing with for as long as we breathe? Brian Kilmeade joined us earlier tonight. He has a brand new book, Thomas Jefferson and the Barbary Pirates. It was where the United States Marines got the stanza in the song that says, "To the shores of Tripoli," because that's what it took to stop Muslim extremism. Thomas Jefferson had to do something. John Adams apparently said, if we start fighting them, we'll never be able to stop. Those words were uttered in 1801. Back in the day, a small group of men, probably in some cave somewhere, came up with this plan to fly airliners into tall buildings in the United States. One of the planners was an unbelievably rich Saudi named Osama bin Laden. He was part of the Mujahideen movement when the United States evicted with the Army of the North in Afghanistan, evicted the Red Army and the Red Air Force. After ridding Afghanistan of the Red Army and the Red Air Force, who had been slaughtering people willy-nilly for 10 years, naturally, the fault rested, as far as Osama bin Laden was concerned, on the great Satan, America. I don't know where the logic lies in that. I don't know how you logically get from the country who essentially helped you rid yourself of the Red Army suddenly becoming your enemy. It's like the enemy of your enemy is a bigger enemy. Really? I don't get that. Anyway, that plan became 9/11. We have seen a slow increase in tempo of terror attacks around the world. We are seeing with this unbelievable police response in France. The borders are still closed in France. The army is still on the streets in France with this incredible response. We are seeing plenty of work for those guys to do. Unfortunately, some of it tragic. Early reports have several police officers being shot, killed, and wounded in a raid in a suburb of North Paris. Is this the new normal? Is this the new normal? My mouth wouldn't work. Is
It's the
this
normal for us?
It's not normal. It is not the new normal that I can't say, is this the new normal?
You want to try again?
I said it right.
Third or fourth time.
The first time I tried to say it, I said, is it the new normal? And I don't know why I said it that way. It just happened.
That was wonderful.
It was wonderful. People like me who say this must stop. That not holding mainstream media accountable for those barbarians inside their house. They believe somehow that I'm the problem. But for the last 40 years, the United States has done everything it possibly could to improve the lives of Muslims around the world. Going to war, in fact. On 2 occasions, at least. And honestly, no good deed goes unpunished. And they say they're coming to Washington, D.C. Earlier tonight, they said they were in Ohio, and they said they were around the country, and they were headed to Washington, D.C. Are they? And when it comes right down to it, why wouldn't they? Washington, D.C. is very much like Paris from a standpoint of who's got weapons and who doesn't. I have never seen a Washington, D.C. police officer unarmed, as apparently is the case at some time, in some ways, in France. I don't know that there are any police officers that are unarmed now, based on the fact that there is video of a man meeting his death, a police officer who was unarmed during the Charlie Hebdo attack. A remorseless shot to the head, begging for his life. And oh, by the way, he was Muslim. Okay. Is this the new normal? How long are we going to put up with this? How many people are going to die before the world says, this is enough? How many people are going to die between the time that I say, how long will it be before we say this is enough, and when we actually do say that this is enough? How big will the ISIS army grow in between now and then? Yes. You think about the fact that there will be people killed by ISIS for the sake of their twisted political ideology. And yes, I think about those poor people and pray that I never become one of them. But I also think of what's going to happen when the world finally reacts and slaughters ISIS in place. That's what happened during the Crusades. The exact same thing happened. Misconduct finally overwhelmed resistance from all of the kingdoms of Europe. It was what, a couple of thousand years ago? Not a couple of thousand, I'm sorry, 1,000 years ago? Something like that? They're still talking about it. They're still angry about it. They still reference it. Steve in Rosser, welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, JD. Like I told you the other night, this is just bugging the crap out of me, man. Is this becoming the new normal? I think, yeah, it is, but does it have to? No, it doesn't. I think they'll, like I said the other night, I believe there's going to be some attacks here, but I think they're going to be very particular about where they go. Like, I mean, look what happened when they came down to Garland, Texas. They get very far with that.
Well, you see, Steve, and the thing about that is that when you start thinking about that, yeah, you're right. But they won't come to Texas. And if they do come to Texas, they will go to places where people have been told to leave their firearms in their trucks.
Absolutely right. I agree with you 100%.
Well, the thing about it is that that's not, that there shouldn't be a place like that.
Right. Oh, I've been thinking about this, JD. The United States has dealt with terrorism here in the United States before, just in a different form. I mean, how did we get rid of the Hells Angels? Well, how did we contain them? How did we contain the KKK? All these hate groups and terrorist groups. There was a way, and we did it, and these were our own American citizens. So there's an answer out there. There is.
Well, there is an answer out there. But and to answer your question, a lot of it was just plain enlightenment, unfortunately. How long is it going to take to enlighten these militant, blood-soaked, barbarous savages that inhabit Muslim terrorists Muslim terrorism. How long is it going to be before these people are enlightened? They think it's the 7th century. This is the 21st century. That's a lot of time that's a lot of ground to cover. A news alert now on Fox News. Explosions and heavy gunfire heard in a Paris suburb. Again, we're keeping our eyes on breaking news that is occurring as we sit here and speak. The United States, because of existing circumstances regarding the personal ownership of firearms, has a far, far better chance to end these terror attacks rather quickly. But I will tell you, my dear friend, if you have a CHL, you have probably become one of the first responders in the new normal of the United States of America. Only if you actually carry your weapon. This is the Wells Report.
This is Greg Thornberry of the King's College in New York for townhall.com. Just subsidize the kids some more. That's the rule if a presidential candidate wants to get the vote of religious families. The American tax code is a punishing maze that leaves parents feeling confused and cheated. Building a new child credit into that structure is the kind of fix that social conservatives usually recommend. A better policy for families is a tax code that helps families realize their own aspirations. Such a plan actually has no child credits, but would be simpler and flatter with a top rate of, say, 20, 18, 15, or even, as Ben Carson would have it, 10%. A clearer, simpler, flatter tax code is an important symbol that says to adults, you can see that you will be able to enjoy a greater portion of the fruit of your labor. Once all families, including families of faith, understand the trade-offs, they too will choose a flat tax. I'm Greg Thornberry.
From Plano to Denton down to Louisville too. Hot has it. Also in McKinney, we'll prove it to you. Hot has it.
When you see or hear the words Black Friday, think Huffines and save really big during Huffines Black Friday Blockbuster Sales Event at Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville. That's right, get huge Black Friday savings all month long on Huffines' Texas-size selection of new Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Rams. Plus, Huffines saves you even more with the highest cash rebates, lowest financing available, and top dollar for your trade. For more, click to Huffines.net or come to Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano at Ohio and Coit Road, or in Louisville, Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on I-35 just north of 121.
Want to see what you'd look like if you had a flatter belly? Now's your chance, because for a limited time, we're giving away free trials of New Biotics, the new discovery that flattens bloated bellies fast. But hurry and call now while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-971-2278. Strict limit of 1 free trial per household. These free trials are reserved for anyone, male or female, who's looking for maximum belly flattening in minimum time. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. So just think how much better you'll look and feel. Want to see what you'd look like with a flatter belly? Now's your chance. But hurry, call now for details while we're still giving these trials of New Biotics away for free. 1-800-971-2278. That's 1-800-971-2278. If lines are busy, try again. 1-800-971-2278.
Passing down generational skill sets and knowledge is part of what made this country great. We need to get back to that. I'm pastor and businessman David Mitchell. Join me and my team for a 2-day training event where we share the skill sets I learned from my grandfather. I've used these skill sets to generate wealth for my own family so that I never had to take a salary from the church. We will teach you the same powerful short-term trading strategies as well as longer-term investment strategies. That way you can pass the skill sets down through several generations of your own family and help get this country back on track. New venture on Wall Street. Build your legacy.
Coming to the Dallas Sheraton by the Galleria and Norris Conference Center, Fort Worth, December 4th and 5th. It's only $99.95 for your entire household, plus a free ticket for a friend and a full money-back guarantee. To register, call 877-907-TRADE. That's 877-907-8723. Or go to nvows.com. That's nvows.com.
Are you a business owner who is jealous of some of the great commercials you hear right here on 660 AM The Answer? Do you feel a little left out when a clever commercial plays and you wish it was about you instead? Nothing's worse than hearing a catchy commercial from a competitor who is raking in new customers each day while you still aren't advertising on the radio. It's not too late. I can still help you. My name is Brad Ballard, and I work here at 660 AM The Answer. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and I can turn you into the company everyone wants to work with. That's 214-561-9116. It's much more affordable than you might think. Don't let another competitor pass you by. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and we'll get you on the radio right away. I'll meet with you personally to brainstorm the best message possible that will rise above the rest. It's time to grow your business and sound like one of the big boys. So don't wait. Call me at 214-561-9116.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio. 660 AM, The Answer. If it's important to you, we're talking about it right now on The Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. We do. In other news, the Secret Service director, appearing deeply embarrassed, apologized today for actions of agents working under him and told Congress that dozens were being disciplined for their efforts to discredit a congressman investigating misconduct inside their agency. Secret Service Director Joseph P. Clancy appeared contrite and described the problems identified by the Homeland Security Department's Inspector General as, quote, inexcusable and unacceptable, unquote. Clancy testified during an unusual joint oversight hearing for both the House and the Senate Homeland Security Committees. The hearing focused on agents who looked into the background of Representative Jason Chaffetz, the chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, who was investigating Secret Service misconduct. I would like to publicly renew my apology for this breach of trust and affirm my commitment to restoring it, Clancy told lawmakers who complained about what they said was a deeply rooted cultural problem. The United States government is abandoning its ethics, beliefs, and standards, and in that abandonment lie the wreckage of American civil and constitutional liberties and rights. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
2 little tablets is all it takes to get thicker, fuller hair, guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically proven, loved by celebrities, and recommended by doctors. And right now, a 90-day supply of Viviscal is being offered in your area risk-free, plus free shipping. Call 800-481-7023. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. It makes thin hair full hair beautiful, and promotes the growth of thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective, 96% of women would recommend it to a friend. Listen to this.
It's vibrant, shiny, bouncy, everything you want your hair to be. I love Viviscal because it works. It completely works.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls can try it risk-free for 90 days, plus free shipping. Get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Call now, 800-481-7023. 800-481-7023. That's 800-481-7023.
Get into the Christmas spirit early this season as the award-winning Vocal Majority Chorus presents A Texas-Sized Christmas.
Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry.
In Act 1, a family tries to save their dude ranch from an evil banker.
Santa Claus is coming.
And in addition to the fun, festive holiday songs, you'll rejoice at the happy ending. And then in Act 2, it's a beautiful concert of holiday favorites. A
Texas-sized Christmas. 4 fun-filled, family-friendly shows at the Eisman Center in Richardson. Thursday and Friday, December 3rd and 4th. Then 2 shows Sunday, December 6th. Last year, all shows sold out, so order tickets today at vocalmajority.com or call the Eisman Ticket Office at 972-744-4650.
And a special bonus just for K-Sky listeners. Enter the code KSKY on the first page of the website and get tickets for the Thursday show at half price. Go to vocalmajority.com.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through December 31st, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group. On the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. 2 Air France flights diverted over security issues. 1 flight from LA to Paris landing in Salt Lake City. Another from Washington to Paris landing in Halifax, Nova Scotia after anonymous threats were made. Both planes landed safely and no reports of any injuries. A change of targets for the Russians in Syria as airstrikes now focus on ISIS.
It does seem that at least in recent days, there's been more of a focus on ISIL, and we welcome that.
Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook. Russia launching its largest airstrikes in decades, targeting various ISIS sites. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal's run for president is over, the Republican suspending his presidential campaign.
I'm not going to stop fighting for my conservative beliefs and principles. Certainly, we thought it would end differently, but the reality is this isn't my time.
Jindal making the announcement on Fox News Channel's special report. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. DirectHomeMedical.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's called the Transcend Mini CPAP. And right now, you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-500-1257. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. Call DirectHomeMedical.com now for your 10-day at-home trial. 1-800-500-1257. That's 1-800-500-1257.
My family was devastated when my father lost over $1 million in the crash of 2008. Hi, my name is Ethan Kapp, and this crash devastated my family. 40 years of work and retirement dreams were dashed in less than 1 year. And to make matters worse, Dad had already retired. I was determined to find a better way, and luckily after 5 long years of research, I did. I don't want your family to suffer through the next crash like we did. So today I'm giving you a free copy of my best-selling book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street. I reveal the strategies I discovered where the wealthy grow their money safer than the stock market, get good rates of return, and get tax-free cash flow in retirement. If you're concerned about losing your hard-earned wealth in the next stock market crash, then call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now at 1-800-920-8484 to talk with a specialist and get a free copy of my Inc. magazine best-selling book. You'll discover how you can grow your money safer than the market and create tax-free retirement cash to protect yourself from taxes and crashes. The next 57 callers get free shipping and handling. Call 1-800-920-8484. 1-800-920-8484. Again, 1-800-920-8484.
American Leak Detection.
Leak detection without destruction. We find leaks without bashing a hole.
Hi, Will Nell with American Leak Detection. The summer may have started off wet, but a quick turnaround saw DFW dry out in typical Texas fashion. All that dry summer weather can damage your home's foundation, but not in the way you may think. When the weather is dry, many people believe their foundation is failing, when in fact, what you have is a plumbing leak. Leaking pipes under your slab can cause movement in your foundation and expensive damage to your home. So before you have your foundation fixed, you should get your plumbing checked. With state-of-the-art technology, American Leak Detection is the only name to call. We are the original leak specialists. We can locate your plumbing leak without destruction and then repair it. Don't let a plumbing leak under your foundation go undetected or waste money on unnecessary foundation repair. Go to AmericanLeakDetection.com today. That's AmericanLeakDetection.com.
American Leak Detection.
Hi, I'm Larry Patterson, owner of Glass Doctor. In our disposable society, we're conditioned to throw out the whole thing when just one part goes bad. Like when the insulated glass windows in your home get condensation between the panes. You don't need to replace the whole window. The specialists at Glass Doctor can install new insulated glass in your existing frames with a lifetime warranty for a lot less than you might think. To see how quick and easy it is, visit glassdoctor.com today. That's glassdoctor.com.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint. Oh, yeah!
From all over the nation, women are coming together to laugh, to cry, to celebrate. On May 13th and 14th, it's time to join together at the Fort Worth Convention Center for Pink Impact, featuring best-selling author, Bible teacher, and star of the hit movie War Room, Priscilla Shirer.
She allows herself to be put in situations where God has to move.
94.9 KLTY welcomes Pink Impact with Christine Kane, Charlotte Gamble, and more. Worship with Carrie Joe. For tickets, go to pinkimpact.com. That's pinkimpact.com.
This week at Lumber Liquidators, get limited time savings on beautiful flooring just in time for the holidays. Save up to 60% on hundreds of in-stock styles like easy to install red oak pre-finished hardwood or durable strand bamboo. We've got these for less than half what you pay elsewhere, plus so many more. With limited time coupon savings, take an extra 20% off all Dream Home laminate floors. With more coupons and deals from 59 cents, get 24-month special financing. Plus, pick up a Lumber Liquidators gift card. Get set for the holidays with flooring deals that end this Tuesday. Go to lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Max, This Is Not a Test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guests Britt Nicole, Colton Dixon, and Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
You want to feel connected, informed, included, inspired. So when important things happen, we're here. Your local radio and TV broadcasters. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information on your radio, TV, computer, tablet, and smartphone. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Tell Washington local stations matter by texting radio to 52886. Furnished by NAB and the station. Message and data may apply.
After I do the intro, I'm going to play breaking news,
660
and then you can go from
The
there.
Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer. This is a breaking news update live on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Out of Paris, there are reports that there is heavy gunfire, police blocking roads in the northern Paris suburb of Saint-Denis early Wednesday. That would be tomorrow morning. Police officers have been shot and wounded during a raid seeking one of the suspects in the Paris terrorist attacks. This raid has been going on for quite some time. The reason that there is very little data that we can report is because most of this is being covered by individuals using Twitter and actually shooting videos from their phones and then putting them up on Twitter. This is obviously not legitimate news coverage, although French television is now reporting the shootings broke out during a police search for terrorists and that several police have been wounded. Indeed, ambulances can be seen racing to the scene of the shootings. There is no doubt about the fact that there certainly is a firefight underway because we have captured sound from one of the reports being shown on Twitter. sound like grenades to me, and that's the unmistakable sound of an FNFAL. It's a 308 rifle that's fully automatic. They're not shooting it in a fully automatic sense, shooting it into in semi-automatic fashion. but that is a serious firefight. And I would say, just listening to that, that's an awful big response to only one person shooting. There may be many people at this particular location shooting back at police, because that sounds like a full-on firefight to me. All right. We will keep our eyes on what's going on, and we will bring you more information as soon as it becomes available. You are listening to 660 AM The Answer.
Now, by popular demand, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM The Answer.
A breaking news night here on 660 AM The Answer. Jon-David Wells in The Wells Report. Thank you very much for joining us. We are keeping our eyes open and letting you know that as soon as we have breaking news, it essentially takes over the broadcast. This is not breaking news, but it breaks your heart. In remarks today in Paris, France, Secretary of Stupid John Kerry justified terror attacks earlier this year that targeted the magazine Charlie Hebdo. The latest attack, by contrast, was different, said Kerry. This, by the way, has eyes rolling all over the entire world, okay? The world is laughing behind the Obama administration's back. Okay? This is the Secretary of State, John Kerry, the Secretary of State of the United States of America, making us look like idiots. This is a guy who speaks in this sonorous drone that begs that whatever he's saying at the moment be immediately chiseled deeply into granite. For all the ages, this is the way I speak. You should be chiseling it into granite for all times and for all people. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan. The Green Bay Packers. Idiot. Here's what this moron said today. In the last days, obviously, that has been particularly put to the test. There's something different about what happened from Charlie Hebdo. I think everybody would feel that. There was sort of a particularized focus and perhaps even a legitimacy in terms of, well, not a legitimacy, but a rationale that you could attach yourself to somehow and say, okay, they're really angry because of this and that. This Friday was absolutely indiscriminate. It wasn't to aggrieve one particular sense of wrong. It was to terrorize people. Duh! It was to attack everything that we do stand for. That's not an exaggeration. It was to assault all sense of nationhood and nation state and rule and law of decency, dignity, and just to put fear in the community and say, here we are. And for what? What's the platform? What's the grievance? That's not who they are. What? That we're not who they are. That we're not who they say we are, who they are saying who we are. They kill people because of who they are. And they kill people because of who they are. No. Genghis Khan. I'd like a bowl of granola cereal, please. They kill people because of who they are. And they kill people because of what they believe. And it's indiscriminate. They kill Shia. They kill Yazidis. They kill Christians. They kill Druze. They kill Ishmaeli. They kill anybody who isn't them and doesn't pledge to be that. And they carry with them the greatest public display of misogyny that I've ever seen. not to mention a false claim regarding Islam. It has nothing to do with Islam. It has everything to do with criminality, terror, abuse, psychopathism. I mean, you name it. Kyle Orton first noticed Kerry's statement via Twitter. John Kerry, Paris attacks different from Charlie Hebdo, which had a legitimacy. Not a legitimacy, but a rationale. Kyle also says the full context of Kerry's statement on Charlie Hebdo has a horrible, rough justice whiff to it. My fellow Americans, at the end of the day, we have no one else to look to but ourselves. Since 2008, I have reported the various strange stylings of the Obama administration and the Democrat Party. I have reported the $5.5 trillion spent in the first 2 years of the Obama administration. I have reported the American response to take away the House of Representatives in the first midterm election. I have reported the willingness to set aside Congress with the Democrat Party standing and applauding as the president during a State of the Union address promised to invalidate Congress as far as he could see, rendering it irrelevant and moving forward with his agenda. Forget about representative government. He was President Obama and he just simply knew best. I reported the story of the president refusing to leave troops in Iraq, using a silly pretext of a put-together slapdash government in Iraq saying that they didn't want American help, which was garbage. Pulling all American troops out of Iraq, leaving the equipment for the inevitable rise of those rebels and crazy people that would show up afterward. I mean, they have to get around the desert somehow, right? But I reported at that time that we indeed were now guaranteed to go back to that tortured land yet again, to expend blood and treasure yet again, to recapture lands that we had captured twice before. All for the sake of this man's politics. I reported the unbelievable lapse of judgment, indeed dereliction of duty, of Hillary Rodham Clinton as Secretary of State and President Obama as an American ambassador was slaughtered in a little place called Benghazi. I reported the subsequent installment of this ridiculous idiot, John Kerry, as Secretary of State of the United States, just in time to see a complete destruction of American foreign policy. This is so far beyond the pale, it borders on insanity, not just incompetence, but insanity. It has been this week where I see the president, following the path of a terror sympathizer. His rhetoric says one thing, his actions say another. I am seeing a place where people were dying simply watching a rock concert. I've reported that here. I've reported the shoot downs in Paris where 129, the vast majority of 129 people were executed with the muzzle of a rifle 8 inches away from their soon-to-be lifeless head. 8 inches. It is a matter of time before something like that happens in this land. The President of the United States and his feckless foreign policy can do nothing about it abroad. Fortunately, here in the United States, insofar as we have refused to allow this man to render us defenseless before the onslaught, we can at least defend ourselves now. Individually, Americans taking advantage of the liberty and freedom granted by our forebears and threatened by our near bears. We're in trouble. This is the Wells Report.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. You've heard me talk about how great it was for Josh DeShong to take the reins and sell our house. I want him to do the same for you, and I asked Josh how he can make that promise to agree on a sales price and a time frame, and if it doesn't happen, he buys your house. How's that working out?
We can drive more exposure than anybody else can on our properties. The more exposure means more money.
It's basically legwork, doing the marketing, getting that first set. You only need one buyer. Always heard you say you need one buyer. Your job, find it.
Yep, exactly. And so the more people that see the property, the more somebody ends up paying for it, the more it's better for everybody all around. So we've been at right now to about a house a day this year.
Josh DeShong Real Estate, top ranked for a reason. Call him at 972-325-6644 or the website getsold.net. When it's time to get serious about selling that home, call the man who did it for us, Josh DeShong, 972-325-6644 or getsold.net, 972-325-6644.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Our son Joe had one dream: to go to college and become an architect. It was going to be expensive, so he...
Does anybody find it strange that 3 of the strongest Republican governors in the history of the party have all left the 2016 presidential race? Has anybody found that a little bit strange? Bobby Jindal, the latest to say, see ya. I've been putting my brain on this, and I think I have some answers. I'll share them with you next time on the Wells Report. Mark Davis, good Wednesday morning, my friend. Thanks very much for giving me this opportunity to come by and say what's coming up on the Wells Report later on this evening. I find it a little strange that Rick Perry, Scott Walker, and now Bobby Jindal have all walked away from the 2016 presidential nomination, from the 2016 presidential from their 2016 presidential campaigns. Why is it that 3 of the top Republican governors have just said, see ya, to becoming the president in 2016? Is there perhaps some kind of strategy involved? Is the Republican Party at work here? I've been putting my brain on that particular subject, and I'll tell you what I've come up with next time on the Wells Report.
A&M and owner of Structured Foundation Repairs. Our number is 972-484-1200.
Our motto is to do the right thing. In some respects, it's hard being the company that always does the right thing. But for our customers' sake, it's very important that we do. Being fully insured, as an example, costs us a lot of money, but it protects our customers. Having employees instead of day laborers is a huge responsibility, but our dedicated employees ensure that we do the best repairs we can. Managing a large office staff can be tedious, but they provide our customers a helpful voice when they need something urgent. Returning every phone call is time-consuming, but instills our customers with confidence that we will always be there when they need us. The Aggie Code of Honor states that Aggies don't lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those that do. That code was the principle our company was founded on, and it guides our daily operations. If this sounds like the kind of company you could trust to repair your foundation, call us today for a free evaluation at 972-484-1200 or click structuredfoundation.com.
It's good to be back. The Louisville Gun Show, this weekend only at the Premier Event Center in Lakeland Plaza. Over 400 tables of guns, knives, ammo, and shooting supplies. Come and buy, sell, or trade. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that special piece to add to your gun, knife, ammo, or military collection, we have it all under one roof. Call 817-732-1194 or visit our website, LouisvilleGunShow.com. That's the Louisville Gun Show at the Premier Event Center in Lakeland Plaza. Don't miss this show.
You're a small to mid-sized business with 300 to 3,000 employees. You face the same network security challenges as big businesses do, but can't support a big IT investment, leaving your doors open to advanced cyber threats. Barracuda next-generation firewalls provide all the core features of enterprise firewalls and UTMs, but without hidden costs and deployment hurdles, making owning a big business firewall no big deal for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda next-gen firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. The telephone number is 866-660-5759 in towards midnight. In case you have just joined us, this has been a very busy day today. There's been explosions, heavy gunfire in a northern area of Paris, France. Apparently, there are suspects, as I suspected, pardon the pun, that there was a much bigger firefight than what would normally be expected, with police descending on a particular location for a search, a raid, if you will. What this turned into was a full-on firefight. We had sound. Can we play that sound one more time? If you listen closely here, you'll see you can hear the differences in sound. The heavy reports, boom, 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 boom. Those are FNFALs. Those are the rifles that are carried by the French. Hang on just a second here. We've got some more information here. Okay. Pardon me? Okay, this is an apartment building. Is this the name of it? Oh, yeah. Pierre-Marie Fineche has put this out on Twitter for us. Anyway, if you listen to this sound, you'll hear FNFALs, which are unmistakable. And I believe I'm going to listen very closely to see if I can hear some AK-47 fire in the background. But what ended up happening was that it turned into a full-on firefight with a lot of police officers, several police officers being wounded. So listen carefully to this, and you'll also hear some grenades being thrown. These are not tear gas grenades. These are fragmentary grenades. Again, their sound unmistakable as well. That's an FNFAL. That's a grenade. I don't know. There was right about the middle of that, there might have been an AK-47. I don't know, but for sure, that's an awful lot of fire going into a target. And so there appears to be a number of people now being reported, a number of people being wounded. And from what we understand, there are suspects that are currently holed up in that apartment building in France. Saint Denis is where it is. And remember, it's tomorrow morning there. So these people are fighting in the middle of the night, and there appears to be at least some kind of hostage standoff. we will give you more information as soon as it becomes available. And also, 2 Air France flights were diverted tonight. One from Dulles International Airport that landed in Nova Scotia, the other from LAX that was headed towards Paris Charles de Gaulle. And those were diverted. The LA flight was diverted to Salt Lake City. Fortunately, the planes are on the ground. Everyone is safe. They are all being investigated. They're all being questioned by FBI officials. I guess the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Canada and Nova Scotia will be talking to the people who got off the airplane there from Dulles International Airport. Again, all of these things happening in rapid fire sequence as we continue into the night here on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. We are watching the news very, very closely. We will bring you more information as soon as it becomes available on what appears to be now a standoff between police and military forces in the northern suburbs of France and terrorists who apparently had been caught in a safe house circumstance with enough weapons to be able to barricade themselves against the police onslaught. Whew. Has this become the new normal, as I have talked about earlier this evening? I certainly hope not. I certainly hope not. And by the way, there is someone who wants you to know that this is not World War III. His name is Timothy Stanley. I'm not sure I agree, but what he has to say is next. This is the Wells Report.
It's Baylor Bears football right here on 660 AM The Answer. Join John Morris and JJ Joe as they bring you every bone-jarring hit and sensational touchdown as the Bears compete for the Big 12 title.
Tune in this Saturday as the Baylor Bears take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys in a Big 12 clash. Pre-game gets started at 6 p.m. and the kickoff's at 6:30. Everything heard right here on 660 AM The Answer.
It's happening to you every night. One snores and the other can't sleep. It seems like there's no end to it. But now there is a quick and easy to use solution, a natural solution. Snore Stop. Snore Stop was created and tested by a team of physicians and has been helping couples sleep for over 18 years. It is the #1 selling anti-snoring medicine in the U.S.
Thank you, Snore Stop. You saved my marriage.
Snore Stop sprays or tablets are now available nationwide at a store near you, or you can go online at snorestop.com. Don't wait. It's time to try Snore Stop and make every night a better night for both of you.
Thanks, Snore Stop. Now I'm back in the bedroom.
So don't wait. Try Snore Stop, the #1 selling anti-snoring medicine in the U.S. Spray or tablets are available today at a store near you or online at snorestop.com. That's snorestop.com. Snore Stop, keeping you together.
Sometimes opportunities come which have the potential for changing your life. Will you recognize it? I'm pastor and businessman David Mitchell. Come join me and my team for a 2-day training session where you will learn how to cut out the middleman and manage your own finances. Learn powerful short-term trading strategies for generating cash flow, as well as longer-term strategies for more safety. All of these have been passed down for generations in my family. I look forward to sharing these powerful skill sets with you. Perhaps this is the opportunity you shouldn't pass up. New venture on Wall Street. Build your legacy.
Coming to the Dallas Sheraton by the Galleria and Norris Conference Center, Fort Worth, December 4th and 5th. It's only $99.95 for your entire household, plus a free ticket for a friend and a full money-back guarantee. To register, call 877-907-TRADE. That's 877-907-8723. Or go to nvows.com. That's nvows.com.
Do you have low back or neck pain? Does it run down your arms or your legs? Do you have a bulging or herniated disc degeneration, or spinal arthritis? Even worse, have you been told you need back surgery or injections? If you answered yes, then please listen to what I have to say. My name is Dr. Chad Glines, DC, at Genesis Back and Neck, and I use the most advanced spinal decompression system available, the DRX 9000, to correct back problems just like yours. drugs. We don't use addictive drugs, and we don't use any type of dangerous invasive surgery for these problems. Spinal decompression is safe, FDA cleared, and it's not painful, and has about an 86% success rate. We accept most insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. You will sit down and visit with me personally until I've answered all of your questions. And if you're a candidate for decompression, you can try out the treatment all at no charge to you. So if you're ready to not hurt anymore and don't want to have surgery, call me at 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922 or online at mylowback.com.
One day, we were like, hey, you know what would be great?
What's that?
A huge Christmas party this December. Let's say December 5th.
Fun.
Hey, you know who we should invite?
Ooh, how about Toby Mac? Call him.
So we did. Dude, Toby, hey, call up some of your closest friends. We're throwing a party.
Yeah, we holla at you.
So here is your official invite. Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Mac's This Is Not a Test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guest Britt Nicole. Colton Dixon and Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen temporal scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers or visit us at Exergen.com.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells as we continue to report on the terror mess in Paris, France. We are watching ambulances drive toward the area where earlier reports said that police officers had indeed been wounded. Whoa, explosions, heavy gunfire in a Paris suburb tonight. And now there is real television coverage in Saint Denis, and we shall start probably hearing some professional reporting in just a little bit here, and we'll bring that to you as it continues. People go through a security checkpoint to attend a mass in homage to victims of Friday's Paris terror attack at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Francois Hollande declared an emergency after the Friday attacks. Border security has been ramped up. The terror group ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attacks. This, by the way, is Timothy Stanley. He says, no, it's not World War III. Okay. Let me give you some of this, and you can tell me what you think. President Obama called the Islamic State the face of evil, but now he's under pressure from those who say he's not doing enough to beat it. Someone says that an attack on France was an attack on NATO, and it's time to go to war. Pope Francis suggests the West is already at war, a kind of third world war. If the Pope is right, then doesn't that demand a tougher response? Isn't the time for caution over? Only a fool would confuse caution for weakness. On the contrary, to defeat an enemy, we have to fully understand who the enemy is, what they want, and what kind of conflict we're involved in here. There are good reasons to proceed cautiously. To clear something up, we are effectively at war with ISIS right now. A U.S.-led coalition has been bombing targets in Syria and Iraq for over a year, and in recent months, Russia has been doing the same. How well it's worked is disputed. Obama has rhetorically shifted his objectives from crushing ISIS to containing it. Nevertheless, late last week, there were signs of success. The Kurds took Sinjar. a strategically significant area in northern Iraq. Mohammed Emwazi, a vicious killer and propagandist, was likely killed in a drone strike, still not confirmed. Paris has obviously eclipsed the news of these breakthroughs, much to the chagrin of the people at Mizzou. Who or what are we fighting? ISIS is different from al-Qaeda, the group behind 9/11. The latter operated as an alliance of cells spread across the world. ISIS, by contrast, seeks to create a geographic space within which to build a caliphate. The shift in strategy perhaps explains why ISIS has been even more successful than al-Qaeda at hitting so many different foreign targets with so many different methods, from Sinai to Beirut to Paris. ISIS's caliphate offers a haven for tens of thousands of foreign jihadists. They come, they train, many return to home to create havoc. The caliphate also provides money and the moral encouragement of having an earthly paradise to fight for. In his groundbreaking essay on the motivations behind ISIS, Graham Wood describes an ISIS recruiter calling it a vehicle for salvation. Its fighters are obsessed with recreating Islam in its earliest form, or as they interpret it to have been, because the early caliphate was far kinder, and believe that most other Muslims have fallen from the standard, one that includes the uses of crucifixion and slavery, whereas al-Qaeda limited itself to comparatively rational political objectives, like expelling Westerners from the Arab Peninsula. ISIS wants to bring on the apocalypse. It's not nihilist. It's deeply, if distortedly, religious. We need to learn to take its brand of religion seriously. The good news is that ISIS is isolated. Applying the phrase world war here is unhelpful because it conjures up images of rival, equally sized nation states engaged in total war. But while ISIS's reach is global, it does not command sizable support beyond its shifting boundaries. This guy's stuck. There is an old axiom. Okay, that's all I need to read. Do you need to hear more? I don't think you do. This guy's stuck in a very similar paradigm to what American command often falls for. It's been talked about, where the generals of today fight their grandfather's war, which is a mistake. This is a world war. This is a world war because Islam is a worldwide concern. The borders are not geographical. The borders are philosophical. But they are borders nonetheless. The nation state that is Islam is not a particular set of hectares or acreage in some particular landmass. They're everywhere. They are a worldwide concern. Therefore, this is a worldwide issue. There are two reasons why ISIS does not spread beyond where it is. Remember, ISIS exists because of the vacuum created by foolish foreign policy on the part of idealistic leaders. There are a lot of places on earth where the Muslim population, like the rest of the population of any given country that I'm discussing, cannot move in ways like this, or they will be shot by the military or by the police or both. Those are countries that don't have anything close to something called the Bill of Rights. Personal freedom and liberty creates soft targets. Those soft targets are the ones that ISIS and its operatives around the world are hitting. Remember, the entire world has stopped based on the Paris attacks and the entire world has stopped because of 8 people. And concerning the people that they're trying to get in touch with now, even if you count everyone who has been arrested, without realizing, of course, that at least 20 or 30% of those people are probably innocent, we're still talking about 100 people. 100 people. Which, by the way, crazily enough, represents 1% of 10,000. The very number of people from Syria that President Obama wants to import to our land. It doesn't take a lot to create a world-stopping terrorist event. But regardless of whether Mr. Stanley believes this is the Third World War or not, nation states are at war with ISIS. It is a world war. Not just coalition states. Disparate coalitions are at war with ISIS. But we need to quit playing around with these people. So far, this has just been the briefest, most gentle strokes major military forces can deliver. Infantry on the ground, on the other hand, would create a far greater and longer lasting impression. And that's something that needs to happen as quickly as possible. Is this the Third World War? Sure. How long is it going to last? It'll last 6 weeks beyond the time that all of us get tired of this. Because the last point that I'm going to make is this. These attacks occur because we allow them to. Because we allow others to convince us of totally unjustified racism. We allow these people to convince us that we just hate Muslims. We don't hate Muslims. We are afraid of terrorists. And as it has been said by many greater than I, not every Muslim is a terrorist, but nearly every terrorist is a Muslim. Cowgirl, welcome to the Wells Report. Good to have you here.
Yes, JD. It's a good discussion. You know, if you think about a country that cannot land its own aircraft and bring its own citizens home, that country is at war. We're at war on our own soil. A lot of the Middle Eastern states, everyone that seems but Obama. And can we survive this war? Okay, we've gone from leading from behind to leading to the grave under the sky if we cannot get.
We've gone from leading from behind to being a laughing stock. We've gone from leading from behind to being a laughing stock to being irrelevant.
Well, and to our own peril here, the Paris, the Chicago could be our Paris. You know, I just don't know, JD, and I cannot believe that so Hitler fired his generals. He let go one of his top generals over the weekend because of the fight over an error. They wanted to let them drop payload. They wanted to, what is this, a little brushing with a feather.
You need to slow down. Who did this?
Obama fired a top general, a black gentleman he was a fighter in the Pentagon. And I don't know his name, but go look it up. He was apparently let go over the weekend, according to Michael Savage, stated it on the 16th of November, that as a result of the arguments over Paris and us, Obama won't let a citizen die. There's no casualties. Oh, we can't kill anybody. Well, you're going to have to.
Well, and there's obviously something else going on.
It's that Hitler did it.
Hitler? Who are you referring to?
Yeah, Hitler, in the Nazi times, and he let go a lot of his top generals that are in disagreement. And there's been a lot of bleeding out of top military that calling of the people that aren't in lockstep with.
That sounds a bit irrational, like most of Michael Savage's points. Okay, cowgirl. You know, you really need to listen to me, because Michael Savage is a little bit nuts. Okay? You need to stick with people that are thinking instead of people that are yelling. Okay? Just going to say. Because I've got to tell you that while President Obama has certainly invited many generals to leave, they've almost never left for the reasons that Michael Savage said they had, or InfoWars said they were relieved, or any of the other reasons. Certainly there are reasons. Certainly there are. Because essentially, I'm sure the president is tired of hearing people telling him he's wrong. I got that. But I don't see anything beyond a president's vanity creating that move. You got to remember, a lot of President Obama's presidency exists only inside his head. A lot of it doesn't have anything to do with reality, which makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. French TV is reporting that suspects are holed up in a raided apartment building. There is a cordon in Saint Denis as we speak. Police are being very, very careful about allowing anyone to enter. And we will see as night continues in Paris. We will see how long it takes before we find out more about these terrorists, apparently, that have holed themselves up against police, trying to arrest or search or determine what their true motives actually are. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from our friends at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. You ever hear the saying, it's all in a name? Well, that's their name, USMD Prostate Cancer Center. It's what they do. It's their one focus, their one mission, to diagnose, fight, and defeat prostate cancer, a disease that affects 1 in 6 men in our lifetimes. So if you've got a family history of prostate cancer, you've been recently diagnosed, I urge you, visit with one of the renowned physicians at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. It's a unique place. They focus specifically on helping men defeat prostate cancer. How? A range of different treatments. Sometimes it's cryotherapy, sometimes it's robotic surgery. It might be no surgery. Not everything is something that you jump on immediately. Call now for an appointment to ask any questions, 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. If you're hearing me talk about this and you know someone recently diagnosed, a friend, a family member, coworker, somebody at church, put them on the phone to 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. That's how important this is. 1-888-PROSTATE or 888prostate.com. USMD Prostate Cancer Center.
For all of you who love to give thoughtful holiday cards that are a true reflection of you.
For all of you who love the holiday cards you send to make it to the mantles and refrigerators of your loved ones.
For all of you who are inspired to create your own holiday cards and just need the simple tools to bring your holiday vision to life.
For all of you, there's Vistaprint.com. At Vistaprint.com, making your own unique holiday cards is simple and easy. There are hundreds of designs to choose from. You can include your own message, even upload your own photos from Facebook. And right now, they're 50% off. Plus, right now, you can also get up to 50% off one-of-a-kind gifts like personalized mugs, calendars, canvas prints, and more. And because it's Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. But hurry, this holiday offer ends soon. To get 50% off all quantities, styles, sizes, and stocks of personalized holiday cards and up to 50% off personalized holiday gifts, go to Vistaprint.com and enter code CARD50 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, code CARD50.
Are you a business owner who is jealous of some of the great commercials you hear right here on 660 AM The Answer? Do you feel a little left out when a clever commercial plays and you wish it was about you instead? Nothing's worse than hearing a catchy commercial from a competitor who is raking in new customers each day while you still aren't advertising on the radio. It's not too late. I can still help you. My name is Brad Ballard, and I work here at 660 AM The Answer. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and I can turn you into the company everyone wants to work with. That's 214-561-9116. It's much more affordable than you might think. Don't let another competitor pass you by. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and we'll get you on the radio right away. I'll meet with you personally to brainstorm the best message possible that will rise above the rest. It's time to grow your business and sound like one of the big boys. So don't wait. Call me at 214-561-9116.
Check, please. No, I got it. That's the second time this week. And you got a new smartphone? Did you get a raise?
Nope, I got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union.
Can I get one too?
Sure, just call 800-849-9977. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could buy lunch for you and get that new 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I was paying 4% APR and they took me down to 2% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment.
But you're not a teacher.
You don't have to be a teacher to refinance your car loan with EECU. Just call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660. Tell them your current APR, and as long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
But you got to move fast. It's a limited time offer in celebration of their new Alliance Town Center branch. So call 800-849-9977 or visit eecu.org/660.
Subject to credit approval. Floor rate is 2.00 annual percentage rate. Membership required. Not valid with loans currently financed with the ECU. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-849-9977 for details.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through December 31st, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. I want to thank you very much for joining us this evening. God bless the people of Paris, France. God bless the country in which they live. God bless the policemen who were shot tonight, those who were killed and those who were wounded, and their families. This is where we are right now. Many of these horrifying events are inflicted on us by evildoers. Many others, however, are inflicted on us by ourselves because we refuse to engage these horrifyingly terrible people in a way that will end their evil once and for all. We do that based on not the cravenness of fear of dying, but the peculiar evil of politics in action. And that perhaps is the most disappointing of all of it. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicki Stifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name is Jon-David Wells. Have a good evening. We'll see you again tomorrow for another edition of the Wells Report.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. You could say my friend Josh DeShong is a confident realtor, and why not? His sales numbers are huge. He sold our house, so we'll love him forever. But he wants you to know he is so sure that he can sell your house. He'll sit down with you, agree on a price and a time frame. If it doesn't happen, he buys your house, and you can walk away at any time.
If you hire us and after 2 hours you're unhappy or we're not living up to your expectations,
You can terminate without penalty. You don't owe me a dime. You can say, hey, Josh, you're fired. Get your sign and leave. Doesn't ever happen, but you can do it if you'd like to.
That's what I was going to say. I'm guessing these are not conversations you have often. The conversations you usually have are, hey, Josh, thank you for selling my house. Kind of like the conversation you and I had.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Make a decision to get serious about selling your home. Do it today. He did it for me. He can do it for you. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
You know, I'm not a genius about money. I love my credit cards, and they love me. I was using them as a source of income, and then I got behind in my payments, and creditors were calling. I figured I had a problem, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I heard about Trinity, so I called and talked to a counselor. In half an hour, we worked out a plan. Now I've got one easy monthly payment, a lower interest rate, and I'm getting out of debt.
If you're in an endless cycle of paying on credit card balances that never seem to go away, then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity will consolidate your accounts, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call 1-800-758-5360. That's 1-800-758-5360. Call 1-800-758-5360.
Hi, I'm Larry Patterson, owner of Glass Doctor. In our disposable society, we're conditioned to throw out the whole thing when just one part goes bad. Like when the insulated glass windows in your home get condensation between the panes. You don't need to replace the whole window. The specialists at Glass Doctor can install new insulated glass in your existing frames with a lifetime warranty for a lot less than you might think. To see how quick and easy it is, visit glassdoctor.com today. That's glassdoctor.com.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint. Oh, yeah!
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. Sounds of gunfire in suburban Paris Tuesday night. Police exchanging gunfire during a search for terrorists in St. Denis.
There's also an unconfirmed report that one police officer has been shot and wounded. The St. Denis region is the location of Stade de France Stadium, the scene of one of last Friday's deadly terrorist attacks.
Fox's Kelly Wright. Anonymous bomb threats forced 2 Air France flights from the U.S. to divert Tuesday night. One flight from L.A. to Paris landed in Salt Lake City. Another Air France flight from Washington to Paris landing in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal's run for the White House is over.
This is not my time. I've come to the realization this is not my time. So I've come here to announce that I'm suspending my campaign for President of the United States.
Jindal not sure whether he'll endorse another presidential hopeful. Fox News, we report, you decide.
.660 AM, The Answer. Listen on iHeartRadio. Sean Hannity asks the question that is on everyone's mind.
How is it possible America could have a president that is so wrong so often on such a defining life and death issue? It is frightening. It's not funny anymore. There's lives at stake here. The day of the attacks, we have them contained. No, you don't, you idiot.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Michael Medved at 5 on 660 AM, The Answer.
This is Jerry Bailey, and I'm the host of your radio show, The Retirement Hour. What we will do on the Retirement Hour show is we'll show you how to keep those stock market type gains. We'll show you how to make more money in the bank with no risk to your money. We'll also show you here on the Retirement Hour how to pass your money on to your children with nobody stepping in between. You'll learn how to always have the money you have today. Jerry Bailey, I'm the host on the Retirement Hour right here on 660 AM each Saturday and Sunday morning at 7 a.m.
One day, we were like, hey, you know what would be great?
What's that?
A huge Christmas party this December. Let's say December 5th.
Fun.
Hey, you know who we should invite?
Ooh, how about Toby Mac? Call him.
So we did. Dude, Toby, hey, call up some of your closest friends. We're throwing a party.
Yeah, we holla at you.
So here is your official invite. Our sister station, 94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University Concert Series brings you Toby Mac's This Is Not a Test. Saturday, December 5th at Verizon Theater with special guest Britt Nicole. Colton Dixon, and Holland. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. For special discounted group tickets, hit up getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751.
This winter, the strongest force in the galaxy prepares to rule the stars once again.
Now feel the power of this fully armed and operational battle station.
But little do they know that they'll be brought to their knees by an unlikely source.
Prepare to fire.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Wait, what is this? Why is our water bill so high?
Leak you have. Detected. You must.
American Leak Detection.
Don't let unexpectedly high water bills awaken a force within you. There's a new hope, and it's time to call the experts at American Leak Detection. A long time ago in an area near you, 25 years in DFW to be exact, American Leak Detection has been finding and repairing